Hello, everybody. Hello. We're getting ready to get started. Thank you, Rumi Dori, for the raid. Um, and let's go over to the uh, stream, the game shop, the Dungeon World room here. Hello. Uh, all right. So, everyone, I suppose we all introduced ourselves to each other, but now perhaps we should introduce ourselves to chat and to anyone who is watching in the future. First of all, those who came in the raid from Rumidori, hello. I am KaybeAngel. This is my channel. Hello. Um, I will be the GM for tonight, and we are going to be running a one-shot of Dungeon World, which is a Powered by the Apocalypse game, in the same vein as Dungeons and Dragons, but a bit more of a narrative focus. We'll talk about the game as we go. All right. So, um, if you all would like to introduce yourselves.
Oh, but what order?
Oh,
I think I'm the one next on the left. So
Yeah.
yes.
hi everyone, I'm Rumi Dori. For those of you who didn't come in with the raid with me, hi, I'm oh God, I'm all shy now. A variety VTuber. I play games, and I'm heckin' excited to play a tabletop. It's been a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh, Thank you. And Rian?
This is me. Hello,
Yes.
I'm Lauren the Elf. I do stuff. I stream it. I do some arts. I do some games. I'm autistic ADHD combo, and so like I use my streaming as my career. So if you want to go support, that's nice. But there's also no pressure, and I just want to have a good time and look forward to learning this new game with y'all and doing a fun thing with y'all.
Okay. And last but not least,
Hi, I'm Aaronikis. I'm a Dragoness VTuber. I'm a variety streamer and play games, like to chill. It's a good time.
okay. All right. So, um, I believe you're all in the Roll20. So great. Um, all right. Let's get started. So, Dungeon World. Uh, Dungeon World is a um, uh, the best way I can describe Dungeon World is like playing how you remember Dungeons and Dragons being. Um, Especially like how you remember the old editions of Dungeons and Dragons being, without without how it being how it actually is. Um, so it's a very the word they use is fiction first. Um, all of the rules are more or less written in a natural language, and it is very much not a tactical game. The basic mechanics of how it works is you're going to tell me what you want to do, and when your descriptions trigger a move, this is based, moves are the codified um, uh, mechanics. If you're on the Roll20, you will see the basic moves all laid out um, in front of you. Um,
Hmm.
so, um, uh, yes, as Connie says there in the chat, a move is basically a little unit of rules. All moves are written in a certain way. They say when you something, then the move that is the trigger of the move, and then we go through that mechanical resolution. And most of them are going to ask you to make a dice roll, which is all dice rolls are 2d6 plus a relevant modifier. Except for the move for dying, which because you don't get to add anything to that because death doesn't care how cool you are. But in general, it's 2d6 plus a stat. If you get a 10 or higher, you succeed without any drawback. You do the thing you were trying to do. On a 7 to 9, there is some sort of cost. The move will either lay one out, or I may have to pick one or make a GM move. And if you get a 6-, that is a failure, and you get an experience point as a reward for the bad thing that's about to happen. So that's the core mechanic. So the first thing we got to do is we got to make characters. So the first step in making a character is choosing a class. Now, if you're familiar with the classes of Dungeons and Dragons, this list is going to sound pretty similar with a few variations. The classes are, and there are lots of, of course, thousands of third-party ones, but we're going to stick to the core ones for today. Your choices are Barbarian, which the Dungeon World Barbarian is a little bit different than the D&D Rage Monster Barbarian. Think less like Hulk and more like Conan the Barbarian, man from a foreign land, now in a strange new place. Then there's the Bard, which is more or less the Bard that you know. Magic, singing, social moves. Cleric, again, you're a holy warrior with healing magic and other abilities. Druid. The Druid in Dungeon World is not a spellcaster in the way that the 5th edition Druid is, but is instead focused almost entirely on the shape-shifting. So if you want to be able to turn into an animal, then yeah, Druid is for you. Fighter is, they're the best at do damage. And as a fighter, the special thing as a fighter is you will get a unique special weapon of your own design, which will have special properties. There's the Immolator, which is not a D&D class, you may have noticed, but it is a special type of pyromancer that allows you to conjure a weapon of pure flame. Then there is the Paladin. The main shtick about the Paladin is that you get to swear oaths. When you swear an oath, you swear, I'm going to do, I will slay blank, or I will find blank, or something like that, or I will transport blank to blank. You make some sort of oath, and when you do that, you get to choose 2 incredibly powerful boons, and I get to choose one thing you have to give up in order to. I get to choose like a sacrifice you have to make in order to maintain those benefits. Basically, Paladin is broken, and if it was possible to power gamed in a Powered by the Apocalypse World game, that would be it. But of course, you can't, and it is not broken. But if it could be broken, it would be. I know that doesn't make sense, but it'll make sense soon enough. Ranger, I don't know, you're like an archer and you get a beast companion. It's a ranger. Thief is sneaky pickpockets, disarm traps, thief. And then wizard. You get a spell book and you get spells. The only thing to state is that as a rule, you may only have one of any given class in the party. So if you are a fighter, you're not a fighter. You are the fighter. If someone is the cleric, you're not a cleric. You are the cleric. Yeah. So, did any of those classes speak to any of you?
I really like the sound of a druid because animals are rad.
All right. So I was looking at using the Roll20 character sheets, but I wasn't really happy with them. So what we're gonna do instead is I'm going to send you this fillable PDF
Ah, cool.
through Discord,
Hmm.
Okay.
and if you will just download that PDF and open it up.
Thinking
Uh,
about playing a rogue.
okay. So the rogue is called the thief.
Oh, sorry, the thief.
Yep. Let me grab that and drop it in the group call. There we go. Thief fillable. All right. And Rumi, what are you thinking?
I I've been thinking about this since you brought up the idea, and I have
Mm-hmm.
like four different classes and don't know which one to pick from.
Oh,
So
well, it's a good problem to have.
yeah, um, uh, I'll go with cleric.
All right, cleric. All right, drop that in the chat, and let me open that PDF as well. All right. All right. So let me pull up. Oops, it's not the right PDF that I wanted to get. I want to look book real quick and go to page 47, character creation. They have a step-by-step guide, and I want to walk us through it in the official order of things. All right, so we've chosen our class. The next thing we need to choose is each of you will need to choose an ancestry, a race. You will see on your sheet, it looks like it's in the bottom right of the first page. You will see a space that says race, and underneath that you will see potentially a few options. Looks like the thief has 2 options, the druid has 3, and the cleric has 2. So, you will need to choose one of the races that you have presented before you, and you will get a specific benefit depending on the one you choose. So, for example, an elven druid would have the ability, the sap of the elder trees flows through you. In addition to any other attunements, the great forest is always considered your land. Whereas a human druid would have, as your people learn to bind animals to field and farm, so too are you bound to them. You may always take the shape of any domesticated animal, in addition to your normal options. So, depending on which race you select, will expand your shapeshifting abilities in an appropriate way.
Obviously, I'm gonna pick an elf.
I am not surprised. Okay. So we have an elven druid.
I'm gonna be a human thief.
All right. Human, you are a professional. When you spout lore or discern realities about criminal activities, you take +1.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And I think I'm gonna go with a dwarf.
Dwarf. So a dwarven cleric, you are one with the stone. When you commune, you are also granted a special version of Words of the Unspeaking as a rote, which only works on stone. Interesting. Okay. All right. That's step 1. So step 2, or rather that's, I guess, step 2. Step 1 was choosing the class. Step 3 is choose a name. Normally, when I'm making my characters, I don't like to choose my name this early, but that is the rule. So, you will see at the top of your sheet, under where you type the name, there are names for you to pick from. And they are organized by race, the races that are available for that class.
We have to pick one of those names.
The rules tell me yes,
All right.
Okay.
but I mean, if you want to hack the game,
I'm okay with picking the names. Some of them look really nice. Ooh. And I don't know how to pronounce most of them, but we'll go along. Whatever sounds right.
Mhm. However, you will be the expert on how the elven names are pronounced. So
Ah,
whatever you
sure.
say is what will be true.
Thank you for this power.
My name's Jack.
Jack. All right. Let's see. Jack the Thief. Okay. After you choose your name, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to choose your look. So you'll see under the name, you have some drop-down menus to like describe your body, your eyes, your hair, your clothes, and there's some blank lines there as well that you can extrapolate on if you like. But
Okay.
yeah.
Did you want us to tell which ones we were picking?
Yes, please.
Well, for my name, I ended up going with Tayros.
Teros. I like that name.
Sounds like Faye.
Mhm.
Nice.
Teros the Druid. Jack the Thief. And Rumi, do we have a name for our cleric?
I will be I will be Bjorn. With a
Bjorn.
J, not what you expect.
Bjorn the cleric. Bjorn the dwarven cleric. Excellent. All right. And all right, go ahead and choose some looks.
All right. I am a life. I don't know how to pronounce that. Life
Lithe.
lithe body,
Mhm.
shifty-eyed, cropped hair, fancy clothed thief.
Very cool.
Neat. I am a messy-haired, wild-eyed, wearing leathered hides. I just been
Excellent.
out and about in the forest doing whatever.
Oh yeah.
This is
Probably
gonna
need a
sound real.
shower. Sorry.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
This is gonna sound really, really true to me. I have a flabby body, kind eyes,
Oh.
with a
Mhm.
strange hair,
All
strange
right.
and wild hair. Oh, and very, very common clothes.
All right. Excellent. All right. So the next thing to do is to choose stats. Now you should see above where you have your 6 stats named out. You'll see assign these scores to your stats. You're all going to have the same array. A 16, a 15, a 13, a 12, a 9, and an 8. You'll notice that the modifiers do not match what the modifier would be in 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. So please make sure you write in the appropriate modifier. Um,
Does the modifier go in the circle or the box?
whichever you think it should.
Okay.
These character sheets will not roll for us, so it doesn't really matter as long as you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel
Let me
like I'll
know.
put mine in modifiers in the circle and then the score in the box because this, I don't know, something makes me feel like we'll use the modifiers numbers more than the
Yeah.
Mhm.
the stats themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and the circle kind of like stands out better than the box. So it's
Mm-hmm.
my eye goes to that first.
I'm gonna put on a little background music while we make characters here.
Alright,
Little Nintendo lo-fi study beats.
sounds good to me. Are we able
Alright.
to hear it too?
I don't know how to make it go through the Discord. Normally, I'm on a server and I have a bot for this.
Okay.
But I'll just... Here, this is what I'm playing.
Ah, yeah, and then we can each load it up ourselves.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's
Free lo-fi.
Alright. So the next thing to right, stats. Sorry, you were already doing that. So the stats are relevant in the same sorts of situations that everyone in here has played, D&D, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, then the stats are more or less used for the same things. Strength is used for, stabbing things. Volley, or rather, Dex is used for shooting things or being sneaky or avoiding being stabbed. Constitution is for eating a poisoned tomato. But also for defending other people, and it also factors into your hit points. Intelligence is for knowing stuff and telling, and if you want to be able to make declarations about the setting and make things be true, have a good intelligence. Wisdom is mostly used for discerning realities, of course. For Bjorn, it will be his relevant to his casting, and for Teros, it will be relevant to the effectiveness of your shapeshifting. So wisdom
For
will
which
be.
one? Wisdom?
Mhm.
Alright. Cool.
And then charisma is used for, mostly for getting people to do what you want or getting out of trouble through, clever words.
Mhm.
So let me know when you've got your stats organized. Till then, I'm just gonna be jamming to some lo-fi Nintendo music.
Alright.
Yeah.
I have mine done.
I am almost done. There's like 3 that I keep shifting around. I'm like, now that I know wisdom's more of the animal aspect, I'm like, okay, definitely gonna make that the 16. But then I have to shift things that I'd already put.
Almost done.
And I'm done.
Okay. So when you're done with stats, okay, we already got modifiers. So,
Can I ask a question?
yes, please do.
There's like the little box to check next to the stats. So like strength, it says weak -1 with a little box on it. What are those for?
Those are called debilities. It is possible that as a result of probably you failing a move, I might decide that, I don't know, you have twisted your ankle and are now shaky, and you will click that debility box to remember that. And then you would have -1 on any rolls involving dexterity until that debility has been cleared.
All right.
And there are different ways that the debility might be cleared. It might be, if the story indicates that you have some extended downtime, that might clear it. If you have a healing potion always clears a debility, in addition to restoring hit points. There might be spells that do it. Probably not any first level spells, but right. So the next thing to decide is, or next thing to do is set your maximum hit points. Your hit points are equal to your class's base hit points plus your constitution stat. Not your modifier, your stat. So you should see on yours the max will have in parentheses, like for druid, 6 plus constitution.
Where? 6? Oh yeah, duh. I see it right there under your hit points. 6 plus constitution, and that's the stat, not the modifier, so 9, and that would be 15.
Mm-hmm. And thief is also 6 plus your con. And cleric is 8 plus your constitution.
I got a nice 21 hit points.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty good. And it will never go up, no matter how many levels you gain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you start a little hardier than a first level D&D character, but growth in this system is sort of in horizontally. You gain more things that you can do somewhat reliably. There is some upward mobility. You get to raise like 1 stat every time you level. But that's about it. Someone in chat, Neomorna says that my model reminds them of those ball-jointed dolls. That wasn't intentional, but I do like that that's true.
Yeah. I pointed to agree.
Mm-hmm.
How frequent are level ups in this game?
We will probably see at least one of you level up by the end at the end of the session. So, if ever the stars aligned and there was a sequel or something, then you would get to be level 2.
Gotcha.
But yeah. Okay.
I also did see on the page in Roll20 for basic moves, the bottom right-hand corner talks about what you need to level up, in case you wanted to look at that too. To help.
Yeah. You need XP equal to your current level plus 7.
Which is a neat way, I think, to track leveling. Like to tie it in with what you're already at, instead of having to remember arbitrary number of you have this much, now go.
Okay, so the next thing is choose starting moves. Some of you may have starting moves to pick. Teros, those moves that are marked with an X are your class moves that you already have. You don't have any moves to choose, but you do need to choose your land from Born of the Soil. I'll let you go ahead and read through those.
Do you want me to read it out loud so the viewers can hear?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Born of the Soil. You learned your magic in a place whose spirits are strong and ancient, and they've marked you as one of their own. No matter where you go, they live within you and allow you to take their shape. Choose one of the following. It is the land to which you are attuned. When shape-shifting, you may take the shape of any animal who might live in your land. Our options are the Great Forest, the Whispering Plains, the Vast Desert, the Stinking Mire, the River Delta, the Depths of the Earth, the Sapphire Islands, the open sea, the towering mountains, the frozen north, and the blasted wasteland. And then there's the thing about choosing a tell, which is a physical attribute. Were you going to say something? I'm sorry.
Right. I was going to say we can. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Choose a tell, a physical attribute that marks you as born of the soil that reflects the spirit of your land. It may be an animal feature like antlers or leopard spots or something more general, hair like leaves or eyes of glittering crystal. Your tell remains no matter what shape you take. That's really neat.
Mm-hmm. So yes. Now, so you get to choose one of those terrains, and you will be able to shapeshift into any animal that reasonably comes from that biome. Now, because you're an elf, you basically already get the Great Forest for free.
Sweet.
So you get to
That was gonna
choose
be the
a
question.
yeah. So you get to choose a second one that you are also familiar with, in addition to the Great Forest.
Well, I like me some ice magic, so I'm gonna go with the frozen north.
All right. Ooh. So I may be seeing that perhaps Teuros comes from like a frozen forest, perhaps.
Yeah, something
like,
teetering on the edge of two biomes.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. So like maybe you were in like a like an evergreen forest next to a tundra.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I like that as well. Okay. So let's see. The thief. You get trap expert, tricks of the trade, backstab, flexible morals, and poisoner.
Yep.
By default, you just get all those. Right, but you have to choose which poison you are proficient in. So choose a poison from the list below. That poison is no longer dangerous for you to use. You can also start with 3 uses of the poison you choose. Whenever you have time to gather materials and a safe place to brew it, you can make 3 more uses for free. Note that some poisons are applied, meaning you have to carefully apply it to the target or something they drink. Touch poisons just need to touch the target. They could even be used on the blade of a weapon.
Oh, they're the serpent's tumors.
Alright. So, anyone dealing damage to the target rolls twice and takes the better result. It is a touch poison. So, yes, and you'll have 3 uses of that.
Okay.
Alright. So, Bjorn, you have some important choices to make. You have to choose the deity that you serve. You serve and worship some deity or power which grants you spells. Give your god a name and choose your deity's domain. Your choices are healing and restoration, bloody conquest, civilization, knowledge and hidden things, the downtrodden and forgotten, and what lies beneath.
My gut instinct was to go with Bloody Conquest, but I think I'm gonna go with Civilization. And I serve the goddess Maris.
Maris. Okay, I need to write that down. Alright. Deity Maris. And you have to choose one precept of your religion, in which tells you what your petition to your deity is, which affects some of your other moves.
I'm going to say it, she believes in trial by combat.
All right.
Personal victory.
All right. So, a god of Samaris is a goddess of civilization who believes in trial by combat. and your petition is personal victory, which follows into your divine guidance move. When you petition your deity according to the precept of your religion, you are granted some useful knowledge or boon related to your deity's domain. GM will tell you what. So, when you achieve personal victory and petition Maris, Maris will give you some useful knowledge or other benefit.
Poggers.
Indeed. All right. You will also need to choose. So you will have spells. So if you look down on your third page, you're going to see the beginning of your cleric spells. You see you'll have 3 that are titled Rotes. These are basically cantrips. You get all 3 of them. Light, Sanctify, and Guidance. I'll let you read through those on your own. And when you commune, you are granted new spells of your choice whose total levels don't exceed your own level plus 1, and none of which is higher than your own level. So basically, you get to choose 2 first level spells from that list.
I think I'm gonna choose Cure Light Wounds and Cause
Okay.
Fear.
Nice combo.
Yes, very interesting combination. Okay. And then I'll let you read through the cast a spell move at the beginning of your sheet. Okay. So choose starting moves. Done. Next thing we have to do is we need to choose alignment. Now, for your alignment, you will see that you have a number of choices. I think usually it's just 3. And each choice has a little blurb next to it. How alignment works is every alignment has like that little goal tagged onto it. At the end of the session, during the end of session move, we will look at everyone's alignment and we will say, did you do X? You know, whatever your alignment says in this session. And if you did, you get an XP. So, for example, Druids, you have a chaotic, a good, and a neutral alignment choice. Chaotic would be destroy a symbol of civilization, which might be difficult to get around with the cleric of civilization in the same party, but maybe that will be exciting. Good is help someone or something grow, and neutral is eliminate an unnatural menace. So you would choose one of those, and at the end of the session, we'll look back and say, like, if you chose, neutral, we'll come back at the end of the session and say, did you destroy an unnatural menace? And if Teros can say yes, then Teros will get an experience point.
Nice.
But also, some of the goals are easier than others. It's true.
Mhm.
But you should choose one that you think would be fun to play towards, because it's only a small amount of the total XP you could gain.
Yeah.
Just one per session.
Big bonus thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna go with good, because in general, I like helping folks, and since we're in a party working together, I don't want to lean on the chaotic and butt heads with Rumi. What was your character's name again? Bjorn?
Bjorn.
Yeah, I don't want to butt heads too much with Bjorn, so I'm gonna go ahead and just be good.
Yeah. One of the things about Dungeon World is, while your characters do not have to be friends, you do have to be a team.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't
So yeah.
let me click one of the boxes
Hmm.
for some reason. It was letting me click them earlier, but now it's just like preventing me.
I mean, I have the fillable open and it's letting me click all of them. I don't know. You could try saving it and reopening it.
I'm
Not
actually
sure.
just not getting this too. So I'm gonna also save and reopen.
Hopefully that works. If not, maybe you can. If
It's not.
hmm. Well,
I was also noticing that for like the like starting weapons or whatever, it wasn't letting me click them.
I don't know why that would be.
For me, it happened when I clicked on good, and then I accidentally clicked on lawful, and I was like, oh no, I don't want to select both, so I clicked off of lawful, and off of good to reset. I don't know why I was just clicking two things at a time. Then when I tried to click back on good, then it wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just some weird error of you selecting two when you shouldn't have, and
Yeah, I
having to
think-
reopen.
I think I like clicked through each of them and then I clicked off of them, and now trying to click them again, it's like not letting me.
Weird.
I don't know.
Reopening did not help.
I
Yeah,
I don't
this
know
is
what
like,
what
oh.
to. Yeah.
You know what we could do? Open up a new one and
Mhm.
just quickly fill in what we already have written down.
Mhm.
Maybe that might help.
Yeah.
Let's
Just
try it.
I don't know. Re-download it, make a new copy. Cause I don't know.
Yeah.
But did you decide what Jack's alignment was going to be?
I'm gonna go chaotic, I think.
All right. Chaotic. Leap into danger without a plan. A perfect alignment for a one-shot. I love it. Okay. So Bjorn, we still need your alignment.
I'm gonna go with lawful.
Lawful. Endanger yourself following the precepts of your church or god. Considering your precepts are trial by combat and personal victory, that should be easily accomplished. Very good. Very good. Okay. Step 10 is choose your gear. Down on your second sheet, you should see starting gear, which will have the choices for your character laid out. In this system, armor is subtractive. So if you have, for example, if you have hide armor, which is 1 armor, then if I tell you to take a d6 damage, you roll a d6, and then you subtract your armor, which is 1, and however much that roll or that is how much MI hit points you lose. Potentially 0. And then like the shield gives +1 armor, so that's, your armor is treated as 1 higher while you have the shield, and so. Oh, but let me take a moment to talk about my favorite thing about this system. Okay, so when you're making a Dungeons and Dragons character and you've made all the fun choices and you've got your starting, all of your starting stuff done, and then you have your gold and you go over to the equipment chapter and you go, all right, I need stuff, and then you have to go through and you got to pick, okay, I need 30 feet of rope, I need pittons, I need a hammer to hammer the pittons into place, I need 5 days of rations, I need and you have to go, and it's all this accounting bullshit, and it's not fun and it sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some people like it, but I don't. Dungeon World doesn't do that. Instead, most of you will find that you start with 5 uses of adventuring gear, or that you get to choose it from that as one of your options. If you choose adventuring gear, you will see that you have 5 uses of it. Adventuring gear represents that your character is more prepared than you are. When a situation comes up and you think to yourself, man, it'd be really handy if we had 50 feet of rope right now, you just mark off a use of adventuring gear, and you see, so now you have 4 uses remaining, and now you have 50 feet of rope, because your character thought to bring 50 feet of rope.
Oh.
Nice.
So it's just 5 units of things, or 5 sets of things, potentially. It's the thing you need to solve the first 5 problems you run into. Sometimes this gets weird. In another campaign I ran, after the first few sessions, well, this was play by post, so it weren't really sessions, but after we'd been playing for a while, we just all kind of looked at the kobold and said, "Did your adventuring gear just turn into 5 different oil lanterns that you used to set 5 different things on fire?" Because that's exactly what it was, because they turned into a serial arsonist.
Hell yeah.
And player characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, so retroactively, that character was just walking around with 5 oil lanterns. It's a little weird, but apparently they were the type to go through them pretty quickly. So, yeah. So if you see adventuring gear on your list of options, that's what that means. Poultices and herbs are a healing item. It restores some hit points. I think it's hit points or a debility. I'm not sure. I would have to check. Yeah. And then, yeah. If there's anything on your list that you want to ask about, go right ahead. Otherwise, just make those choices.
I'm wondering for picking my weapon or my
Okay.
armament. What the difference in damage is.
Okay. So unless one of your options says +1 damage, which none of them do, when you successfully deal damage, you will just roll the damage die for your class.
Okay.
Which is a d6 for a cleric. So whenever you deal damage, you will roll a d6. Sometimes a very heavy weapon, like a halberd or something, does do an additional +1. But in general, your weapons are very more in the narrative of what they can do. So the difference between having a warhammer and a mace is that a warhammer is a spiky boy, and a mace is a clobbery boy. So maybe that affects how you can wound different targets, or how difficult things are.
Thank you. Good to know. And I'm going with the staff.
All right. So you'll have a staff and bandages then. Interesting. Okay. And then you get to choose one between adventuring gear and dungeon rations, or a healing potion.
I have a question for one of mine.
Yes. What's your
The
question?
halfling pipe leaf. Is that basically just like what does it do?
Okay. So this actually does have a mechanical purpose. So
Okay.
it is just a unit of halfling pipeweed. You can consume it and enjoy it. But if you share it with someone else, so you expend 2 uses, one for you and one for someone else, for an NPC, prior to parlaying with them, parlaying being one of the basic moves, you will have +1 in that parlay. So parlay is the move for convincing an NPC to do something. Now you can't the trigger for parlay specifies that you have some sort of leverage. In other words, you cannot just ask somebody nicely and expect to roll parlay. That doesn't work. You don't get to roll dice for asking nicely. But if you have something they want, or a threat, or something like that, some manner of leverage, then you can roll parlay. But if you sit down and share some pipeweed with them first, then you have a +1 on that parlay. Doesn't get around needing the leverage, but it does make it easier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's totally what I'm picking, and I can verify IRL. These tactics are sound.
I would believe so. Yes. Okay. So has everyone picked their starting gear now?
Yes.
Yes.
I have.
Okay.
Yes.
So the next step is going to be bonds. But before we can do bonds, we need to I want each of you to go. We'll go down the line in the same order that we introduced ourselves, and I want you to introduce your character. Just tell us, tell us about them. Share what what they look like. Maybe like if you have anything interesting to say about their personality, or just anything you want to share, anything that will help us in choosing bonds. Go ahead and do that. So we will start with Rumidori.
Okay, so I did describe my looks,
I can
but
head pat
Bjorn
Rumi on
is
stream.
Head pats IRL. I didn't realize I'm not following, so you get a follow for the head pats. Thank you.
Excellent. All according to plan.
All according to plan. I am, or Bjorn is a dwarf that looks to be in his middle age. Very unkempt hair, wearing mostly common, like, everyday clothes. He's a cleric of Maris, a goddess of civilization that prides the practical use of law for delegating and, like, mediating disputes. But also values that civilization is often built on violence or needing to fight to defend what those laws mean. So Maris looks kind of scraggly and kind, but is very quick to give someone a whack over the head with his stick if you're if you're being problematic.
So, well, my first question is, does Bjorn have like a holy symbol or something of Maris, and what would that look like?
Oh,
What marks him as a cleric of Maris?
The marking of, I want to say, oh no, a tattoo wouldn't work. It needs to be something I hold, right?
I mean, you could have a tattoo as well, but yes, you would need. I believe you need a like holy symbol that you can hold up. But you could have tattoos as well.
Yeah, I was just thinking then a simple trying to think of what the actual shape would be, but a symbol on a very common steel chain around his neck.
Mm-hmm. So it's something that looks like some sort of government seal of some sort.
Yes, it's not ornate or anything that's highly sought after. No one would look at it and go, "Ooh, that's some nice jewelry. I want to steal it." It's kind of
Ooh, so it's probably like copper or brass or something like that. But so it is not valuable, but it is the symbol of authority.
yes. I actually
Yes.
like the thought of maybe like a brass open palm.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And I think the spot on the palm would double as a good worry stone, so there's a nice bit of wearing there. Anyway.
Oh yeah, I can see that you would be like, anytime you're thinking, touching the hand of Maris, and
Yes.
it's got a little bit of a wear there. I like that. All right. Jack, why don't you introduce yourself? Or no, wait, that's not the order we were going in. It's just the order that I have my PDFs organized in. Tayros, please introduce yourself.
Well, Tayros, they are an elf that has lynx eyes, and that same kind of pattern of the white around the eye that lynx cats have, with a bit of the fur there, and it fades into the regular skin. Wearing the weathered hides of just whatever they could put together themselves, because they've been living in the Alps kind of a setting. Like I was looking up what would count for snowy foresty biomes, and thinking like the Swiss Alps. Carrying a walking stick for the shillelagh. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, actually. The shillelagh?
Shillelagh.
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 Shillelagh. I'll get it right enough times, and I'll get it.
Shillelagh.
Shillelagh.
Now, considering that it's if I'm not mistaken, a Gaelic word, there are probably 1,000 people who are screaming at me for pronouncing it wrong, but it is pronounced that way in somewhere.
Fair enough.
But I'm sure every pronunciation you said is correct somewhere.
Somewhere.
I don't know anything about Gaelic, but I know that that even they can't agree in their pronunciations.
Yeah. Fair enough. Until someone comes in here and tells us we're wrong, that can say I am, and I can assure you, by expertise, that I'll try my best to say it the way that you're saying it.
Yes.
But
right. So
made of oak and just like a general walking stick, but also in combat if need be. But takes a general no kill approach. Just like I'll knock you out to get away, unless you're really bad.
Death of Roland says Google agrees with me, so I will stand by my statements then. So I guess my question would be, why might Tayros be off on an adventure instead of back in the wilderness?
A general sense of curiosity, probably approaching an age of whatever the length of age span it is for elves in this setting, of just becoming an adult, so wanting to go explore more of the world outside of their home.
So how old is that? You are the only elf here, so
I get to decide. Whoa.
So yeah, how do elves grow up quickly like humans, or do you spend hundreds of years as children?
I'd like to lean on.
Are they immortal? or just very
Ooh.
long lived, or not even
I would
that?
say very long lived, because then there would still be, like, if they were immortal, there would be no sense to have community unless that's part of the wandering. Oh gosh, now I gotta rethink everything. Uh, uh, hmm. I'll just say very, very long lived. So maybe like once you reach about 200 and you live to be like 1,000. So 200 is probably like the early adulthood. And it's like, okay, I've been here and caring to the animals and the plants. And now I just want to go see what's beyond that. The differences there are and what good things I can do with the skills I have.
That makes sense. All right. And Jack, please introduce yourself.
All right, so characters like the, fancy clothed, shifty-eyed, cropped hair, just like the suave rogue, kind of suave thief, I guess. Trying to be like the like charismatic con man, while also being like sneaky, I guess.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I'm thinking like basing my character kind of like Flynn Rider from Tangled.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Nice.
So what is it? What is it that motivates Jack to? I mean, why does Jack leap into danger without a plan?
Cause Jack don't give a fuck.
Interesting. Um, is there anything he's hoping to get out of this? Treasure, fame, women,
Yeah,
men?
yeah, sure. Treasure, fame, women, all that stuff.
I think I have a general understanding of Jack's character then. All right. So the last part of character creation is choosing bonds. So I'm just gonna read this part out loud. Once everyone has described their character, you can choose your bonds. You must fill in one bond. But it is in your best interest to fill in more. For each blank, fill in the name of one character. You can use the same character for more than one statement. Take some time to discuss the bonds and let the GM ask questions about them as they come up. You'll want to go back and forth to make sure everyone is happy and comfortable with how the bonds have come out. Leave space to discover what one might mean in play 2. Don't predetermine everything at the start. Once everyone's filled in their bonds, read them out to the group. When a move has... never mind. That part is not relevant right now. So, yes, so you'll see under your alignments, you will have a variety of statements. You need to fill in at least one. You should fill in at least one for each other player character. To describe sort of your initial relationship with them at the beginning of the story. Bonds should develop and change over a campaign. Now, this is a one-shot, of course, but at the end of the one-shot, during the end of session move, we will examine a bond, and if a bond no longer feels like it describes that character's your relationship with that character, for example, one of the bonds that's on one of the classes, I think on multiple ones, is blank always has my back. If by the end of a session you decide you no longer think blank has your back, then you would talk to that player and you say, hey, I think this bond is resolved. And they would say, yeah, I did not have your back there. And then you would both, you would erase that bond and you would both get an experience point. And then you would write a new bond to replace. Probably with that character, but potentially with another one as well.
What was everyone's characters' names?
I'm Taeros.
How do you spell that?
Taeros.
And Bjorn?
Bjorn is Bjorn.
Okay.
And I think we all know how to spell Jack.
I don't
So,
know. There could be a lack of a C or a Q. Sorry.
Yeah,
That's
no,
true.
he was
That's true.
saying
There
like,
are more than one way to spell Jack. You're right. You're right.
but then I was purposefully trying to think of a way to misspell it. I'm like, G, E with the dots and a Q. Jack.
Gosh,
Yeah,
Jack spelled
yeah.
with a G like Jeffrey.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's actually Jacques.
Jack.
All right. So yeah, read through your bonds that you have available to choose from. Oh, my arms are freaking out. My
Come on.
arms need to behave
Calm
themselves.
down, arms. It's okay.
Bad
Shush, shush,
arms. And yeah, write in your companions' names, and then when you're ready to share the bonds you've written, let us know.
All right, I have Bjorn has my back when things go wrong, and Tayros knows incriminating details about me.
Oh.
Okay. So first I want to ask Bjorn. Bjorn, is that true? Do you have Jack's back?
Yes, and I think my bonds will show that.
All right. That's good to know. And Tayros, what
Yeah.
incriminating things do you know about Jack?
Oh
Or Jack,
gosh.
what incriminating things might Tayros know? Or
I
what do
feel
you
like-
think she knows? That's a better question.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a better question. Jack, what do you think Tayros knows about you?
Probably like the details from my last heist or something
Hmm.
like that.
And-
Well, one of my bonds says the spirit spoke to me of a great danger that follows insert name. So if I were to pick Jack, maybe that's the incriminating
Ooh.
secret, like something
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I know that will create a danger.
Yeah, Jack, could it be possible that you stole something that Tayros knows is dangerous from the spirits? Some
That's
sort of
possible. Maybe
some
it's
sort
something
of artifact
Mhm.
of
Yeah.
some sort of I don't know, some sort of cursed item.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'll
All right.
boop your name on
I-
there.
Yeah. So I think Tayros, you know that there is some great danger following Jack. And Jack, you think that Tayros knows about your crime, but she doesn't know the details.
Well,
But I think yeah.
Yeah, this could work
I-
really well.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's a good setup.
Okay.
All right.
What was Jack gonna
so
say? I'm already getting into calling you by your character names.
what was it?
I thought I heard you were gonna say something, and so I want to make sure I didn't miss what you said. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't say anything.
Okay.
I'm putting like the bonds in the Discord call, so we like can keep track of.
Oh, good idea. Okay,
Mhm.
let me I only have one out of two. I still am trying to think of something for Bjorn.
Well, I have both of mine if it's
Yeah.
good to
Mhm.
share. So for Tayros, I have Tayros is a good and faithful person. I trust them implicitly.
Aw.
Not. I know that that's kind of counter to a druid, but in my mind, it's almost like the reason why people go and settle is from that curiosity, the wandering and the looking for something.
Mhm.
So on kind of a gut intuition level, I trust Tayros. And
Well, thank you.
again, again, doing a little twist on it. I have Jack is in constant danger, and I will keep him safe.
Aw.
And my initial thought was not in a like you are in physical danger, but like I can see if you like casually break a law or something, and I'm more worried about the danger to your morality. I'm not gonna be that guy, but I am gonna like, oh honey, are you sure? I mean, we can just buy one of these. We have it at home.
we have dungeon loot at home.
Just
Yes.
Dungeon loot at home.
Exactly.
We have dungeon loot at home. Dungeon loot at home. 2 copper pieces and a bit of gross, dirty string.
Yeah, I got that around my neck. Uh-huh.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah. Right. So.
the second bond.
Yes, Teuros, you need a second bond.
I figured to tie in with Bjorn trusting me explicitly, like knowing I'm good. I have a bond here that says I have showed Bjorn then a secret right of the land. So maybe that's like where that trust comes in from. It's like, hey, we bumped into each other and I shared a good part of me to you that you could go, wow, that's just so pure and lovely. You're awesome and nice. And so they kind of like tie in that way. But I just still don't know
Well-
what that secret right of the land would be. Probably, or no, I'll let you go ahead, DM.
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps it can come up later. We don't need to decide exactly what the details are right now, but
Okay.
I can certainly see that Bjorn was maybe on some sort of, traveling through your lands, and you met, and that's where you met, right? And you showed them some sort of the beauty of the nature or something, or some sort of ritual under the full moon, something like that maybe.
Yeah.
And now they've seen a little bit of you, and now they maybe now they are showing you civilization.
Yeah, in return.
Hmm. Yeah,
I like.
I like that.
Me too. I'm gonna pick
All
that.
right. All right. So, with that, our characters are done. We are now ready to play. That took a little longer than I had hoped on, but we still got plenty of time, so that's gonna work. So, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a 5-minute break. Go to the bathroom, get hydrated, do all of those things. We're gonna come back in 5 minutes, and when we come back, I'm going to drop you into immediate action, and there will be danger, and we will have fun.
Nice.
All right.
Oh.
All right. So 5-minute break, everybody. Chat. We will be right back in 5 minutes.
Alright.
Unmute. We are now live again. Hello, chat. We are back.
Oh.
Okay. So now we are going to begin the game itself. I should have used this minute to prepare exciting chase music, or like action music. But I didn't because I am a hack.
Well, I mean, depending on how your character is, maybe lo-fi chill music is battle music. You're just like vibing in your zone.
Maybe. Maybe. But clicks the Darkest Dungeon combat music theme. This may be a little more intense than is strictly necessary for this opening I have in mind, but we'll see. Pan says, chill lo-fi music to battle to.
Got a playlist
Okay.
and everything.
All right. We begin. We see a heavy dwarven boot strike a stone. Bjorn, you are running. Are you chasing? Are you giving chase? Or are you fleeing? Bjorn? My question is directed to you.
Oh no, is Bjorn not back?
Is Bjorn not back? Wait, I know Bjorn was back.
Sorry, my headset went out on me. I'm back.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Yes.
Can you hear us now?
I can hear you 100%. Let's go.
Okay. I will repeat my opening. Our scene opens. We see a heavy dwarven boot strike a stone. Bjorn, you are currently running. Are you giving chase or are you fleeing?
I think I'm giving chase. I'm definitely
All
giving
right.
chase.
We zoom out. We see our heroes. They're running. They seem determined, in chase of something. Teros, where are we? What environment are we fleeing, or not fleeing, chasing through?
Chasing through?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Ah.
Where are we?
I mean, what to think. Trying to think about what's something close by to where I would be. So probably not the same because I've already. You know what? If we just met or such, maybe we were nearby and we're fleeing out of that area. Something happened after us encountering each other. So probably the more just foresty, regular forest, not the snowy. Like we've already cleared out of that area.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a lot of not birch, spruce trees.
Right. So
And
we're giving chase through a forest. Spruce trees scatter the area. I think it's probably wintertime. Snow is on the ground. Perhaps in the air as well. Jack, as you are as you are the one to most leap forward into danger. Jack, leading the pack. You see your quarry ahead of you. What creatures are you chasing?
Goblin.
Goblins. Wicked goblins lay ahead of you. You give them chase. But this is their forest. They know the way. And they begin to lead you into dangerous territory. Jack, as you are in the front, how is it that you proceed through the dangerous forest?
I'm following the snowy footsteps of the goblins, just trying to keep up with them.
All right. So Jack, as you follow the goblin's footsteps through the snow, you strike a tripwire. The goblins prepare to lead pursuers this way, and a trap springs. Click. What do you do?
I try to get out of the way.
All right. So it sounds like you're attempting to defy danger, by
Yes.
with dexterity. So
Yes.
here's what we're gonna do. First roll of the game. Jack, I need you to roll 2d6 and add your dexterity modifier to it.
9.
A 9. So on a 7 to 9, you avoid the worst of it, but you stumble, hesitate, or flinch. Jack, as the trap triggers, you dive to your belly, avoiding a lethal trap which swings right over where your head was. But as you have had to dive to the ground to avoid the trap, you have slowed, and the goblins are beginning to may outpace you.
Okay.
Teyros, Bjorn, do you stop to help pick Jack up, or do you keep pace with the goblins?
I stopped to pick them up. Like that would just be my instinct to be like, hey, no, get up. We gotta keep this chase, and I'm not gonna leave you behind.
Okay. Bjorn, what about you?
I think my initial instinct is to stop and help, but
All right.
at the
Oh.
if I'd stop and help too. Yeah, I want to make sure that Jack is okay. He in danger.
Especially
All
with
right.
the trap just having set off. Like who knows what's near? Maybe we should stop to look around and make sure we're not going into more.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So, the party, or both Teyros and Bjorn, stop and pick up Jack. Jack, you get to your feet, and you see, now being aware to the danger, you can tell that this forest is probably littered with similar traps. The goblins are up far away. One of the goblins turns back and puts his hands to the side of his head and goes, "Nah, you can't catch me," and then disappears behind a tree.
Okay.
All right.
So rude.
What do you do?
I would like to look around for more traps to
Okay.
ensure that we're not setting off more.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. As a thief, you have a trap expert. When you spend a moment to survey a dangerous area, roll plus dex.
Okay.
Okay.
Would I be able to aid if I wanted to? In searching for
yes.
these traps? Since we have a bond
Yes.
and I kind of know the land, I can maybe help.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So you would roll to aid. You would roll plus your +1 because you have a bond with Jack. If you get if you get a hit, which is a 7 or better, then he'll have a +1. If you fail, or if you fail, then there will be something that will happen. But if you get a 7 to 9, then if Jack experiences a cost, you will get that cost as well.
This is okay with me.
Okay. So roll 2d6 plus 1.
Alright, 2d6. Let me get out my dice roller here. Plus 1. I got a 9.
8, 9. Okay. So, Jack, you will have a +1 on your trap finding roll.
Okay.
So it's 2d6 plus your dex plus 1.
Oh shit. It's a roll.
You need /R.
Yeah. Hey.
All right, 10, full success. So you get on a 10 plus, hold 3. You spend a hold as you walk through the area to ask these questions. Is there a trap here? If so, what activates it? What does the trap do when activated? What else is hidden here?
Mm-hmm.
So, as you proceed through the trapped part of the forest, in the direction the goblins went, Jack and the druid are searching for traps. I assume you want to spend 1 hold right away to ask, is there a trap here, and if so, what activates it? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So, there are... Jack quickly finds that there are several more tripwires throughout the path. They're simple to avoid once you know where they are.
Okay. What else is hidden here?
Well, this area is definitely controlled by the goblins. They have signs here warning, goblin kind away. So, in terms of things that are hidden here, this area seems to be not a place where they would keep any treasure, but beyond here is certainly something they wish to protect.
Okay. And what do the traps do when activated?
Each trap seems to be some sort of counterweight trap. So they seem to either drop rocks that are currently suspended in the branches, or cause a tree to swing, or in a few cases they cause a tree that has been bent over to snap up, which has been fitted with sharp stabby sticks.
Okay.
So there are a variety of traps, but yes,
Sounds good.
they all seem to
Do
be
I-
lethal traps.
Do I also take note of these things as I'm helping Jack to search for these traps?
Absolutely.
Alright.
Yeah, I point out the traps to my party members.
Oh, good thing I didn't keep running.
Yeah. What do you call it? Maybe we can use this to our advantage. I mean, the goblins, I guess, know where their own traps are, but if we could disorient them, we don't have to do anything. But also, I don't want to really kill if I can, but goblins do be goblins. And
Goblins
Yeah.
be goblins.
what are their intentions here, Like, what are they doing in this forest? My goal is to protect the life here. And if they're causing a ruckus in that regard, if they're harming, I don't want that to continue.
I would like, uh, I would like Teros to roll plus intelligence. I think that you are attempting to spout lore on goblins.
Oh, snap. Okay. So 2d6 and an intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
which is a 1 for me. I got a 7.
Okay. So something interesting, but not necessarily useful. Goblins are classified as a type of fae. It is said that when humans or elves experience deep negative emotion, somewhere a goblin is born.
Well, there seems to be a lot of them here congregating, as perhaps this is the breeding ground of those thoughts. As like this is a source of where that energy channels to create them.
Perhaps.
I could see goblins creating a whole lot more negative emotions than other fae.
Yeah, because if it's what they are made of, they would want to like, what's the word I'm looking for? Extrude? No, not extrude. When you,
Create?
yeah, like they would want to do more of it.
Mhm.
So if they're congregating in an area and wanting, I don't know what their goal is actually. That's the thing, is like I'd have to know more. I'd have to like sneak into their camp and listen in on them to see what it is they're doing here and their purpose, rather than make assumptions.
Mhm. All right. So, what do you do?
Hmm.
I say we pursue the goblins, take them out.
With the traps pointed out to me, I'm gonna go back to giving chase.
All right. So, continuing to chase in the direction that the goblins came from, the party rushes forward. Excuse me.
Yeah, I follow closely. Bjorn took off, and I'm just like, oh, well, yeah. Like now that we know where the traps are, we can avoid them. Let's get to the root of this situation.
All right. As you pursue the goblins, you see up ahead of you, there are a small group of the goblins have remained behind in order to meet you. It's like, oh, you got through the traps. That's no fair. And then they pull arrows and prepare to shoot them. Prepare to loose arrows at you. Bjorn, you were in the front. What do you do?
I think I would rush the closest one that I can reach and try to bash it in the stomach with the top of my staff.
All right. So as Bjorn rushes forward, the goblins loose their arrows. Bjorn, 3 arrows are flying towards you in a straight line. How does Bjorn avoid being turned into a pincushion?
Probably. Very much he came in really excitable, but he's just gonna drop, like, duck and roll.
All right. Make a. That sounds like defying danger with dexterity to drop and roll. Roll plus dex.
Okay, so I forgot that Dex is not my strong suit.
You are not. You may have a staff, but you are not a monk.
Oh, I got a 9,
Nice.
Yeah. All right.
even with a
So.
-1.
So Bjorn, Bjorn rolls under the arrows, and gets slowed by that. Meanwhile, Tayron, you see an opening. As Bjorn has gone straight forward, you are off to the side, and you see the goblins. The goblins are drawing new arrows and are going to shoot at Bjorn while he is down. What do you do?
Well, I definitely would want to help out by maybe deflecting the arrows in some way if I have that capability. My dex is not like super high, but it's not low either. Could I use my shillelagh to possibly? Wow, that seems like a risk to myself. Um, Maybe I could go in and rush and like roll dodge push into Bjorn. So that way I stay low and don't get hit with the arrows. Unless I could rush the one that's about to shoot the arrows. It depends on how, I guess, which one am I closer to? Bjorn or the goblin readying the arrows?
Well, Bjorn is definitely closer. Bjorn is definitely closer. So you could run and get in front of him or tackle him or something like that. But while the goblins are reloading, this might be an opportunity to close into melee.
To close into melee?
Mm-hmm. If you want it.
Yeah, because then if they're close, their arrows aren't going to be as useful, I assume.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna get ready to
Okay.
get whacking with the stick and just knock them unconscious, not aim to kill.
Right. Okay. So, Teros, you run in and swing at the goblins. This is going to be a hack and slash roll. So,
Right?
um, this is going to be, you're going to roll plus strength. And if you get a 10 plus, you'll deal your damage. On a 7 to 9, you deal damage, but also take some damage back.
All right. Well,
Music
strength's
stuff.
not my best. I'm a little bit of a weakling, but I still want to take advantage of the situation at hand, so it's worth the risk. And I got 9. No, sorry, 7.
Mm-hmm. All right. So 7. So you come in, and you will deal your damage to the first goblin as you come in and you whack him with the stick. So you'll see on your character sheet under your hit points you have a damage die.
Yes.
That is how much damage you do when you successfully make an attack. So roll a
Okay,
d6. That's how much damage you will do.
All right. 4.
All right. So you come rushing in, and you swing your staff, and you thunk one of the goblins in the head, and it passes unconscious, falling out. But another one of the goblins are not alone. Another one comes in and slices at your calf, and you will take a d6 damage. Please roll a d6 for how much damage you take.
5. Oh
Ooh.
gosh.
5. Now, whatever armor you have, subtract the armor.
I have hide armor.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say subtract the armor, like take it off, or
I subtract it from the damage that is dealt. So you have armor 1. So
okay. So,
instead of taking 5 damage, you take 4 damage off your hit points.
gotcha.
Mhm.
That'll leave me with 11.
All right. Jack. Bjorn is pulling himself to his feet. And Teros is engaged in melee combat with the formerly goblin archers. What are you going to do? What are you doing?
I'm gonna pull out my rapier, and I'm gonna charge in And attack the goblins.
All right. So a rapier, I believe, has the precise tag,
Yeah.
which means that when you hack and slash, which is what this is going to be,
Yep.
you may choose to roll plus dex instead of plus strength.
I will. I'll do that.
Okay. Then please roll hack and slash.
11.
11. All right. So this is a full success on an attack roll. So you are going to deal your damage, and not. But you have a choice. You can either deal your damage and not get hit back, or you can do an additional d6 of damage, but you're going to take damage in return.
I'll just do.
Just deal your damage.
I think I'll just do my damage here.
Okay. As a thief, your damage is a d8. It looks like. So please roll a d8.
7.
7. All right. And I assume Jack is not aiming to kill.
Yeah.
All right. Rapier goes straight through a goblin's eye, and it drops dead before Jack. Bjorn, you pull yourself to your feet, a little dirtier and scuffed than before, but unharmed.
And
Your companions are engaged in melee combat with some of the goblins. You see, though, that one still stands and is drawing a nasty-looking, rusty, sword from its belt. What do you do?
I'm gonna continue as I was doing before and
Mhm.
rush the goblin to attack it with my staff.
All right. The goblin sees you coming, and it readies to defend itself with its this nasty, rusty short sword, and it comes at you, meeting force with force. This will be a hack and slash. So, roll plus strength.
Double check my strength again. Oof, an 8.
8. Okay. So the goblin comes in low, gets a nick in on you with the rusty sword, and you're gonna take a d6 damage. But then you also come in with a mighty swing of your. I'm sorry. What weapon did you have? Mace?
Staff.
Staff. Right. Staff. You went with the staff. So you bring in your staff for a mighty blow of your own. So roll a d6 for the damage you deal and a d6 for the damage you take.
Damage I deal, I just rolled a 6.
Nice.
Damage I take, yes, is another 6. But I
No
have one
half
armor,
measures.
so
Right.
5.
So you lose. So 5 hit points. Yes. All right. The is Bjorn aiming to kill with this strike, or merely to subdue?
I'd be aiming to kill.
All right.
I'm
Not everyone is as merciful as Teros. A skull-shattering crack as the staff strikes the goblin and it falls. In the distance, you hear some more goblins like, "Oh no, these guys are serious! Pull back! Go back to the camp!" And the goblins in the up ahead make a full retreat.
Well, heck, we showed him. Nice eye stabbing and skull crushing. We turned to both of them.
There is one goblin on the ground, He's kind of groaning like, oh, my head.
Is it the one that I happened to knock unconscious?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well,
He's out of it, but, he's like, he's alive.
All right. Well, I wrap my arm around him like a friendly half hug when you're standing next to someone and you wrap your arm around them and you like squeeze them tight to keep both their arms
Mhm.
pinned. I kind of do that to
Mhm.
keep them restrained. Put them up and just say, "Good thing I kept one alive though, because now we can ask some questions." I just do like a little light cheek tap with my hands.
Oh, I'm not good at questions.
I don't expect you to be. I expect you to be good with answers.
Oh, okay. So he's like, he looks at his two dead companions, and his lack of having a weapon. Because I assume, because he dropped his,
Yeah.
he had it. Yeah,
I would want to make sure
his
he's
arms
not
are
going to be
quite
able
big.
to hurt me back easily.
Yeah. So he's just gonna get real quiet until people start asking him questions.
I turn to my companions and shrug with my open hand as to indicate, like, what do
I
we want
asked
to ask?
I asked the goblin where they keep the treasure.
Why would I tell you?
Well, your life's on the line.
I mean, you're gonna kill me anyway, aren't you?
Am I?
Why should I tell you? It's my gold. It's mine. I'm gonna give it up.
It was your gold. It's not anymore.
Well, it won't be yours if you kill me.
Well, as you can see, they're pretty good at killing. So after they take care of all, we just gotta take some time and search. Might as well save us the time, and I'll make sure you can go. Like, I want to
All
convince
right.
him that I would be the one to save his life
Okay.
and let them not
That's
attack me.
all right.
I
That's
I wave.
believable.
I want to wave my rapier still with the goblin's eye on it, like in front of the other goblin's face, and be like, "This will be you if you don't tell us where the gold is."
Okay. So I want Teros to parlay. The leverage being obviously the threat of imminent death. And if you want to aid this check, you may do so.
Okay.
Yeah, they're both an intimidation in a way, so like they
Mhm.
boost each other. We're in synchronicity.
So, Jack, to aid, you're going to roll 2d6 plus the number of bonds you have with the character you're aiding, which in this case is 1. Yes, so we roll aid first. Okay. 9. So that's going to be a +1 to the parlay. And, but if if there is some sort of cost or danger, you will receive it as well. Okay, so, Teros. You're gonna roll plus charisma. Here's how it works. Here's how charisma works, or parlay works. On a hit, which means 7 or higher, they ask you for something and do it if you make a promise first. On a 7 to 9, they need some sort of concrete assurance. So basically, if you get a 10, they're gonna do what you say. As long as you promise, you make them the promise.
Yeah.
On a 7 to 9, though, they're gonna need some sort of concrete, proof.
Do I need to establish these things before rolling, or just roll and then?
We'll
extrapolate out?
play it out after. We're gonna see what the dice say the outcome's gonna be, and then we'll play it out.
Alright, so I've got 0 for charisma, but I do have the 1 because of the aid.
Mhm.
Right, so 10.
10. Perfect. All right. So the goblin, he's like, he looks at the eye on the sword, and he looks to Teros, who totally could have killed him, but only knocked him down, and is now like holding him and making him this offer, and he's like, uh, uh, okay, I'll I'll tell you where everything is, but you gotta um you gotta promise to let me go after, right? Okay?
Of course, of course. I wouldn't turn on my word, and obviously I didn't
Oh,
kill you, so I have more safe of your safety in mind than that one. And I point to Jack.
and and they have to promise too. He points at them. He points at the other two. You guys gotta promise too. You'll let me go?
Well,
By my hand, and I hold my pendant in my hand as I'm saying that.
Okay.
I
All
look
right.
at Jack and smile.
So
Like, yeah.
okay. So like the stuff we stole, they're gonna take it back to the to the shaman. You know, he's okay. So if you keep following, like, if you follow them back, if you follow those trails, the steps, those are gonna take you to the village. But the village isn't where the shaman is. No, no. There's there's a cave. See, there's a cave in the mountain up like up behind the village. That's where the shaman is. And if you and we give and the treasure is all kept in the shaman's cave. That's where the stuff we stole will be.
Well,
But
who's the shaman?
but be careful. Shaman. Uh, well, um, his name is Robin Redcap. And but be careful. He's got powerful magic. He fried the old chief with a snap of his fingers. And took control.
Oh,
Wow.
I raise up my eyebrows and kind of like nod my head, like, yeah, that sounds pretty powerful.
Mm-hmm. So if you want to try and get the gold from him, you gotta be careful. Now, so that's where the treasure is. So I can go now, right? I can go?
Well, of course, a promise is a promise, but we don't want you alerting your friends. So how about you follow me into the woods, and I'll pick a spot for you to run away. Does that sound fair?
Okay.
But before you go, are there any other traps we should know about?
I, you're past most of them. I mean, there'll be some like hunting traps, like snares for catching rabbits and stuff. But I think you're past most of the, like, people traps.
Okay.
There might be some in the shaman's cave though.
Does the shaman have like magic traps maybe that we should be on the lookout for, or probably just regular traps too?
He I don't know, but he's very powerful, so it's possible.
Okay.
Okay,
Well, I
so
mean-
you're gonna let me go now?
Well, hold up. I squeeze a little tighter so that he can't squiggle out. And be like,
Mhm.
well, first we need to know where this cave is. Could you probably lead us there?
Yes, yes. I mean, it's like in the mountain. Like there's a you gotta go like past the village, and it's like up on the cliffside, and then there's a cave.
Well, I mean, there's a
Um,
lot of caves in nature. How do we know which one's
uh,
the right one?
Well, I mean, I guess I could take you there, but I mean, we'd have to go through the village.
We can't go around? There's no secret ways?
Well, not really, because see, the village is kind of like, I mean, I guess if you could climb the mountains, it'd be really hard, but yeah, we could go around. Um, I
Well,
don't
I
really
would.
know a trail or anything, but I mean, I guess I could take you there.
I turn to my companions and say, "Well, what do y'all think? Are you up for a good old hike?"
Of course.
For a hike. I want to ask, or I must ask, is this shaman the leader of the town overall, or just a leader of a group? Or wait, maybe I can't ask that.
Well, I don't really know what you mean, but I mean, he killed the old chief. That makes him the chief.
It's out, checks out.
Mm-hmm. So, he's, I guess he's in charge as far as that goes. But I mean, right now you guys are in charge. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He nods.
I nod with.
Look at this. We are chief now.
You
I
are
am
chief to him.
Look at me. Look at me.
I am chief.
I'm up for a hike.
I would also like want to ask him like, "Oh, but like, what are y'all doing here? Like, he's a chief, but chief of what? Of you all just existing, or what's your goals? Why are you here?"
Well, we are the Razorfang clan. We have been here for many goblin generations. And
6 months got it.
and I mean, what does anyone want to do? We want to eat and collect shinies and grow in number until the whole forest knows that it belongs to the Razortooth clan.
Well, what happens when you get all the shinies and you take over everything? That doesn't sound like a good end goal. Wouldn't you rather work together with the nature? With the others that exist with you?
Nah. No. They will want some of the shiny. They will want to not be food for goblins. They are
Wait, you eat other
not-
people?
We eat whatever we can kill. Do you not?
I kind of have this thing where I don't like to eat other like sentient beings that can talk to me.
But you would just let all the food go to waste? Disgusting.
Well, you're the one here yammering while your lunch goes to waste.
I am being held down by this very nice elf
yes.
lady who's going to let me go.
Yeah, after a hike. I mean, you gotta work for that lunch, right?
Right. Okay. Let's go, I guess.
I would stand up and be like, "And you're gonna hold my hand the whole way, okay? No funny business. Like, you're not getting to run away without showing us the full path."
Okay. He looks at your hand as if he's thinking about if he could get away with biting it off, but realizes he can't. So he's not. He's evil, but he's not stupid.
That's what I'm counting.
So, yes. So he holds your hand for now, and you and he leads the way. He's like, okay, so like the only direct path to the cave would be to go through the village, but you guys want to go around, so we're gonna have to do a little bit of mountain climbing. And
That's
so he leads you up and around, and eventually you come to a to like the side of a cliff. He's like, okay, so we gotta go up, and then to the that way, and we should be able to get through the mountains and get to the cave from a different direction. You're gonna have to let go of my hand in order for me to climb this. He looks up at you.
Well, I don't want you to just run away and leave. So that sounds not a good idea. How about I just let you hop on my back, and you tell me where to? No, because then you'd bite me. I'm like, gotta contemplate my options here. I turn to Jack and Bjorn and go, y'all got any like rope that we could tie to this goblin so we can like have a leash on him, I guess, so he can't get away once he's done climbing.
Goblin on a leash, how barbaric.
No, like the waist.
Here. I'm gonna use one of my adventuring gear as rope.
Okay. So mark off one use of that, and now you have, so when you use adventuring gear, you mark off one use, and now that item becomes a physical, like, part of your inventory. You now have rope.
Okay.
So,
Very
yeah.
useful.
So you take some rope from Bjorn's pack, and you tie it around the waist of Goblin. And what do you do with the other end of that rope? Also, the Goblin makes an angry face. He looks like this. He looks like an angry, child.
Like so embarrassed, so grumpy embarrassed. like this is bogus.
Yeah.
I turn to Bjorn and go, I'm not like the strongest of upper body strength. Would you like to hold the goblin? In case he struggles away?
I can carry the goblin. Well, I can pull the goblin.
Okay.
Do you have a name?
Yeah.
Should we continue to call you the goblin to your face?
Good question.
I am.
It is me, the goblin.
Uh,
Tis
I am Sketch the Mighty. He crosses his arms.
Well,
Why do they call you the mighty?
Because I am very strong.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, you don't need to discern realities to know he's a liar.
yes, I will pull him along with the rope. Just around.
All right. All right. So you begin climbing. And we climb up the side of the cliff, and up to the to another ledge. And let's see.
Would there be any action?
I would like.
Go ahead.
Yes. Go ahead. Ask your question.
I was just gonna ask if, like, for climbing, would this be a feat that worthy of a roll or such, or do we just take time and make sure we make it through okay? Like,
Yeah,
how
that's what I'm trying.
difficult is climbing?
That's what I'm trying to decide if this. I don't think this is really like a defy danger, but
Alright.
I am thinking about how to make like a little custom move for this. So I would like the all right. So first, I want to know, one of you is going to need to, or two of you are going to make wisdom checks here. One is going to be acting as the trailblazer, who is picking the path and managing the trek through the mountains. You will get a +1 forward because you have sketch giving you guidance on that. And optionally, one of you may roll plus wisdom to scout ahead. If no one does that, then it will be I will treat it as a miss.
I'll gladly be the one to scout ahead, especially seeing as, like, I've been around this area before and
Mhm.
would be able to traverse the terrain okay, and yeah.
Okay. Give me a wisdom roll then.
Alright, the best thing I'm best at. But I got a 7. That's still okay.
7. Yeah, that is still a mixed success. So, meanwhile, someone who is not scouting ahead, also roll wisdom for the trailblazing roll. While I prepare for...
I can certainly do that, especially since they'll have tied up the goblin.
The goblin.
Yeah. Right?
The mighty goblin.
Sketch the mighty!
Okay, Skip.
Sketch!
Alright, Scalp.
Please don't say that. He holds his head.
Oh, I have a +2 to wisdom. Cool.
Hey, we're so wise.
And I rolled a 1.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
So I got a 3.
Oh boy! Good news! Good news, Bjorn. You get to mark XP.
Yay!
Oh shoot. I just got a bunch of hotspots following.
Oh no.
Can I can I ban them or no? Yeah, I'll worry about it later.
what was it?
Okay.
What happened? Oh,
I just got a bunch of those hotspots.
boo.
Just followed.
If you don't have notifications like turned on your stream, it really doesn't matter for those because they just like follow
Yeah.
then immediately unfollow.
Yeah. Yeah. Normally, I forgot to set up alerts on this new scene. I guess I won't in case they return. Okay.
Then it ended up being a benefit.
Yes. Okay. So Bjorn, you get to mark XP. Yay! This is the primary way that you gain experience points in Dungeon World. You get an experience point every time you miss on a roll. Um, it's actually a little surprising that we have gone this many rolls without, and this being our first one. But okay. So, Bjorn, as you are picking the path through the mountains, as you place your foot on a stone, that stone cracks and gives way. Bjorn, you begin to fall and slide down the path. Sketch, realizing he is tied to you, is pulling and trying to slow your descent, but he does not have the mass. Jack, you're the since Tavros is scouting ahead, you are the only one who can maybe stop this fall. What do you do?
I guess I like leap to grab the rope.
All right. As you grab hold of the rope and try and pull against Bjorn's weight, you're going to need to defy danger with strength.
Okay.
Seven. All right. You grab the rope and begin pulling back against it. You manage to slow. You manage to stop Bjorn's fall, but you're not strong enough to reverse his movement and pull him back upwards. You can only hold him, and you know you're not going to be able to hold him forever. Bjorn, you were swinging there, the end of your rope, quite literally. What is it that you... How will you get out of this mess?
Is there any... Not is there. I think I would try to jam my staff into the cliff face somewhere, like a crag in the rock, or like a crack in the rock somewhere that I might be able to get like a firm hold. It's no pitting, but
yeah, okay. So you pull out you take your staff and you try and jam it into the side of the cliff and get some leverage and pull yourself to the side. I think that this is probably strength. Do you agree?
I would agree with that.
Okay. Then let's defy danger with strength.
Right. Hopefully I don't roll a 1 again.
Fingers crossed.
Oh no, you only rolled 1d6 before. You're supposed to roll 2d6.
Oh no. No
Yeah,
wonder
it's
why I
2d6
got a
plus
1.
the stat. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That's all right. Well, we're already in it, so it'll stay.
Yes.
But this time roll 2d6 plus your stat.
I got an 11.
All right, that's much better. Yes. So, Bjorn, as you say, you jab your staff into the wall and pull yourself up against the wall. You now have, 3 points of contact established. You're still on the cliffside, but you can now begin climbing back up with Jack pulling and you climbing.
I know this may make it harder, but I think the first impulse that that Bjorn would have would be to take the rope off of his wrist before climbing.
Oh,
given that
all right.
we had an agreement that we wouldn't hurt the goblin, and the goblin has been helping.
Mhm.
if I care about the law and our word. The last thing I would want to do is cause incidental like harm.
Yeah.
All right. So, Jack, you're pulling on the rope, and then suddenly the rope goes slack, and you pull it up the rest of the way, and you find the end of the rope.
Oh,
You you run over to the edge, and you look down, and you see Bjorn is now uh, clutching the side of the wall. What do you do?
well, do, do you need the rope? I can toss it down to you.
Uh, ta- so long as we find another counterweight, please. I can hold on here.
Is there any like
So you turn around,
water?
and Sketch is like already undoing the rope around his waist, and then he sees you looking at him, and he just slowly continues undoing the rope around his waist.
Have I scouted too far ahead that I don't know any of this is going on?
Uh, actually, you probably would have heard something, so you can return. Um, so Teros, you appear on the other side of the collapsed bit of cliff, and you see Bjorn clutching to the side of the wall, and Jack and Sketch on the far side.
Far side. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, gosh. Immediate help, my companion. If Sketch makes it away from us, oh well. At least we'll fulfill the promise. So I go to aid Bjorn.
Okay.
However, I can't. I'm trying to still think how I could, because when you say that Jack is on the other side, would it be like how easy or difficult to get over to help be a counterweight with the rope? Maybe still
Well,
catch
it would be difficult. It would be difficult for a human to get over there, but you are a druid.
I could change into a golden eagle
Mm-hmm.
and fly over there. Get to possibly preventing Sketch from escaping at the same time as getting over there quick enough to help with the rope for Bjorn.
Mm-hmm.
So I will.
So would you like?
This.
Okay. So this is the first time we're using your shapeshifter move. Let's take a look at it. So
Yeah.
shapeshifter. When you call upon the spirits to change your shape, roll plus wisdom. On a 10 plus, hold 3. On a 7 to 9, hold 2. On a miss, hold 1 in addition to whatever the GM says. You may take on the physical form of any species whose essence you have studied, or who lives in your land. You and your possessions meld into a perfect copy of the species form. You have any innate abilities and weaknesses of that form. Claws, wings, gills, breathing water instead of air. You still use your normal stats, but some moves may be harder to trigger. A house cat will find it difficult to do battle with an ogre. The GM will also tell you one or more moves associated with your new form. Spend a hold to make that move. Once you're out of hold, you return to your natural form. At any time, you may spend all of your hold and revert to your natural form. So, in general, what that means is that you can stay in an animal form as long as you want if you're just chillaxing and being an animal. If you turn into a house cat, you can laze about as a house cat all day long. But when you do things that are like specifically that animal, for example, a house cat would probably have a move called stalk something, right? And so if you could then spend your hold to, as a cat, stalk something without being noticed. And you could do that however many times depending upon the result of your wisdom roll.
Okay. For the hold, each
So,
hold is like an action to do that thing.
yep. And so you have, so you're going to turn into a golden eagle?
Yeah, because I was looking at native species to like the alpines and such, and the golden eagle is a big
Mhm.
bird of prey that can carry about 3 to 4 pounds. But I don't know how like specific you want to go in with pulling enemies aloft. Because I was looking at the common animal moves being for flying creatures that I could pull them. So like get over there real fast and kind of like stop Sketch from getting away by pulling him back. That maybe Jack could also then like I pull him enough because he's still kind of small uh,
Mm-hmm.
to allow Jack
Yeah.
to tackle him or retie him.
Yeah, I think that, in a fantasy setting, it's entirely reasonable that you turn into like a you know, dire golden eagle, like a really big.
Yeah.
I think that's reasonable. And
All
then
right.
you could pick up at least a small character like a goblin. Uh, yeah. So first things first, you need to make a wisdom roll,
All right.
because if you get a 6 or less, then the situation becomes more complicated.
Indeed. Here we go. 7. Ooh.
7. All right. So you get 1 hold. So you will not be able to hold the form for long. But
At least enough to get over
um,
there to help.
yeah. So, so Teros sheds the elven form and becomes a great golden eagle, and you fly over. What are you going to do with your newfound eagleness?
I want to immediately dash over because I don't think I'd be able to lift up Bjorn. Probably much heavier than I could with the goblin. That seems more reasonable for my abilities. Plus my like stats. If I'm reading this correctly, like I take my own stats in whatever animal form I'm in, and my strength isn't that great anyway.
Right.
So my best bet is
So
to.
so you have your stats for the purposes of any moves that are triggered, but like your strength does change in like the narrative. So like the example being, if you're a house cat, if you manage to trigger a hack and slash, you're gonna roll with your normal strength. But the things that you can hack and slash are a bit, you know, more difficult. Like
Relative to my
it's going to be a lot
strength,
harder to hack and slash a horse when you're a cat than if you are a human with a sword.
yeah.
Yeah.
So my best bet here is to dive bomb onto Sketch to prevent Sketch from getting away, so that Jack and I could still have Sketch's aid, but also to just be over there so I could shift back and be a helpful counterweight with the rope to get Bjorn back up with Jack.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good. So Sketch, seeing you transform into the eagle and seeing his opportunity to ditch this rope, drops the rope and he starts booking it, and then just the golden eagle just soars over, claw, grab, and picks him up. And he flails his arms. Hey, let me go, let me go. And you just kind of fly back over, plop him down, and are you shifting back or are you staying in eagle form?
I would shift back because I don't think I'd be able to hold him long unless Jack's helping me, but also I'm gonna need to be in my elven form to help with the rope situation with Bjorn. So
All right.
like kind of land
So-
and then shift back into a grapple to hold Sketch down and shout to Jack, get the rope, tie him back up.
All right. I guess I'll go try to tie him back up.
Ow. All right. Yeah, you tie him back up. I mean, he's pinned
Little
under
extra tight this time.
under
Make
Teros,
sure.
so yeah. Meanwhile, Bjorn, are you waiting for this comedy to conclude, or are you going to climb back up on your own?
I am climbing with the rope as it's as it is held. Yeah, I'm.
Okay,
I'm
so you're gonna
start
wait for
right
them
climb.
to like hold you're gonna be waiting for someone to be like holding the rope?
Uh, I think I would try and climb up on my own until the rope is dropped to
Okay.
me again. So
Yeah.
I don't expect to get to the top, but
Okay.
I'm not climbing
All right. So yeah. So Bjorn is being very cautious and not trying to rush things, and not making too much progress by the time Sketch is recaptured, and now Sketch is retied up, and he has a very sour expression. Jack, um, Jack and Teros, you have a tied up goblin, you have a rope, and you have a dwarf down a hole. What do you do?
Is there like a large boulder or something?
Maybe a tree,
Like a tree? Yeah.
something heavily rooted.
Yeah, there are rocks and there are trees. If you want to tie a rope to something, that's reasonable. Do you have another piece of rope?
I just figured we would tie Sketch to the tree and then just toss the other end of the rope down.
Yeah, then Sketch stays in place and we can guide the rope appropriately, be an extra handheld in case like the rope were to break, but the tree's doing the main weight of it.
All right. Sketch does not like this plan, but has little choice in the matter. So you tie Sketch to the tree, and then you throw the other end of the rope down to Bjorn. Bjorn, now with a rope and friends to
Sweet.
pull it from the other side, you manage to get your way back up, and catastrophe is averted as you rejoin the party at the top of the cliff.
I'm just
Like-
out of breath.
Yes.
I give Bjorn a light hug to say, I'm glad you made it.
Thank you.
Now, Teros, you were returning from scouting ahead. In your scouting ahead, you saw that there's some manner of dangerous wild animal along the path you would expect to take. You'll have to somehow get past it. What animal did you see?
Oh, I get to choose? Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. A dangerous animal of this region would probably just be a big old bear. I mean,
That makes sense. We've got like a big old
brown
like
bear.
a grizzly bear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in order to get to the shaman's cave from this direction, you're gonna have to pass by where there is a large brown bear.
Well,
You're gonna
I
have to
do
pass
have
through its territory. So, what?
I do have
do
spirit
you do?
tongue, and I could talk to the bear. Like just because it's dangerous looking doesn't mean it's out looking to harm us. Maybe I could converse with it and see if it would let us pass through its territory, so long as we didn't bother it. And also be like, hey, did that shaman kick you out of your cave? Do you need help? Like, is that your cave? And then maybe the bear could aid us. Like,
Maybe.
or even if it
maybe.
wasn't their cave, like, just be like, let us pass at the very least.
All right. So, in order to get, it takes a little bit of effort. You have to go around the hole that Bjorn found. But you eventually get back on the main trail, and you begin heading towards there's a stream up ahead that you'll have to cross over, and there's a bear there.
Probably.
The bear,
minutes,
like,
just-
The bear sees three, strangers in its territory, and it stands up to make itself look big and dangerous. Druid, you have the floor.
Oh, I don't approach in any way that could be taken as a challenge or threatening, like very meek and placating, and to say we wish not to harm you or disturb your territory. We wish only to pass and take care of an enemy that we both share, an enemy of this forest. Would you give us this? Would you let us go? Only I'm saying this in bear, so to like my party members, just you.
And the bear responds in its own growls, which which Teros recognizes as I am hungry. The creatures, the green-skinned creatures, they overhunt. They pick all the berries. They catch all the fish. Very hungry.
Well, guess who's what?
Well, I would say the one we seek, the cave we seek, holds the leader of these green-skinned enemies you speak of, the ones that steal your berries and fish. If you were to let us pass, we could take care of the problem, and the fish and berries would return plentiful and no longer deplete. But only in bear.
Yeah. Yes. In bear. And the bear. You have food. Give food, and then go.
I ask, what food?
I am assuming that someone in the party has dungeon rations.
I turn back
Correct.
to them and I say, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, correct me if I'm wrong. If nobody has any dungeon rations.
I don't need dungeon rations. I turn to my party members and ask, do either of you have food on you? I mean, I don't need it, but this bear's hungry and might let us pass if we give some food. He's very, like, amenable to the idea.
I point at the goblin.
I turn to Bear and go, oh wait, no, I should wait and see what Bjorn says. My bad.
Sketch is also like looking from you to Jack, and from you to Jack. He's like, what?
I mean, I have rations. I don't mind parting with one. I want to make sure that our Gavi here has lunch too.
Yeah.
He did say he would eat anything.
This is true.
So, Bjorn, go ahead and mark off, like 2 rations. Because you're feeding a bear here.
Okay, bear's hungry.
Yeah, he's hungry. He's a hungry bear. So, Bjorn pulls out. What does a dwarf's rations look like, Bjorn?
I imagine that.
Salted pork.
Yeah, I would assume dried meats, like some like
Hearty bread.
hearty bread, and one that I IRL do a lot, pound cake, like,
Heck yeah.
because it's just a pound of each ingredient. Bjorn knows how to cook that. So a
Bjorn,
little
did
bit
you
of
make
sweet
these
bread.
yourself?
Yeah.
They look pretty good.
So the bear, you put down the salted meats and the pound cake on the shore, and the bear walks over and starts munching on them. And as he's munching on them, you guys skedaddle across the river and make your way through. And Sketch looks up at Teros and says, "What kind of magic is that? Are you some sort of shaman too?"
It's the magic of connecting with others. As I say, as I place a shoulder on Sketch's, place a hand on not my shoulder. Place a hand on Sketch's shoulder.
Pats self on back.
Yeah.
Sketch's shoulder, I think.
Yes.
I don't get it, but we're almost to the cave. And,
Oh, okay, that's good. That's good.
All right. And as you cross the river and you continue on a little bit ways farther, you start seeing warning totems. Crossed X's of wood decorated with animal skulls, goblin skulls, people skulls, and painted with, all sorts of reds and yellows from the forest. And but before long, you see a cave. And Sketch says, "Well, that's it. That's where the shaman is."
Well, thank you. I appreciate you sticking with us this whole time. I mean, you didn't have a choice, but still appreciate it.
Yeah. So, I can go now, right? I showed you the way. The treasure's all inside.
But yeah, of course. I'll keep my promise. Just can you do me one thing? Can you like try to be good? Can you like just look deep into his eyes and I'm like, can you try not to hurt others?
As you look, okay. Let's... Would you like to roll Discern Realities?
Yeah, to see if this experience has changed him, and if maybe he'll learn lessons from this short, tiny adventure it's had with us. To
All
not
right.
be as evil goblin-y.
All right. Roll plus wisdom.
Alright, it's +2. 9.
All right. So, Discern Realities has a list of questions. What happened here recently? What is about to happen? What should I be on the lookout for? What here is useful or valuable to me? Who's really in control here? And what here is not as it appears to be? So, you may ask one of those questions relating to Sketch in this interaction. So you tell Sketch, or you ask Sketch to promise to be good.
Do better.
And do better. And Sketch looks at you with these big goblin eyes and says, "Sketch will be a good goblin."
Good enough for me.
Would you like to ask any of the Discern Reality questions?
Probably the one that would be most useful for me here is like what is about to happen in reference to like the moment I let him go? Is he gonna like bite me or go and call for help to the shaman? Like start shouting in the cave, like they're here, come and get him. Like I don't want my kindness to be our death.
All right. So, if you let him go, he is going to be a good goblin, and he is going to make his way as quickly as he can back to the village and call for more goblins.
Dang.
Now, the village is a little ways away. If you're quick, maybe you can get this done before Sketch gets back with reinforcements. But if you're not, then you will have to fight your way out as well as your way in. If you let him go.
Well, obviously, I don't want to make this decision just alone. Like I made the promise, but I would turn to my comrades and be like, I'm pretty sure he's gonna not do good and gonna tell all his friends to come back here. What do y'all think?
I think I may be able to persuade him.
Oh. I just stand up and point to Sketch and like to usher Bjorn over and say, "Persuade away."
I was considering casting a spell on our boy here. Inflicting him with intense cause fear, because we've been very nice since since meeting you. In fact, you saved my life, and I very much appreciate it. You wouldn't want to do anything to betray that, would you?
And then you cast Cause Fear?
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Alright, let's read your cast a spell move. This is the first time it's happened this game. So,
Nice.
when you unleash a spell granted by your deity, roll plus wisdom. On a 10 plus, the spell is successfully cast, and your deity does not revoke the spell, so you may cast it again. On a 7 to 9, the spell is cast, but you have to choose one from a list of choices. Draw unwelcome attention or put yourself in a spot. The GM will tell you how. Your casting distances you from your deity. You take -1 ongoing to cast a spell until the next time you commune. Or after it is cast, the spell is revoked by your deity and you cannot cast it again until you again commune and have it granted to you. Note that maintaining spells with ongoing effects will sometimes cause a penalty to your roll to cast a spell. Alright. So please roll plus wisdom.
I rolled a 12.
Wow, that's perfectly great. Okay. So, 12. Let me read Cause Fear real quick. Choose a target you can see and a nearby object. I'm gonna guess the object is you.
Mm-hmm.
The target is afraid of the object so long as you maintain the spell. Their reaction is up to them. Flee, panic, beg, fight. While the spell is ongoing, you take -1 to cast any other spell. You cannot target entities with less than animal intelligence, such as magical constructs, undead, automatons, and the like. Alright. So, as you cast this spell, Sketch's eyes go wide, and he looks at you with like utter terror, and he's like, "Oh, okay, yes, I will not do anything to cross you." And Teros, you know from your previous question, the answer to that previous question is now changed. What he is about to do is he is going to run for the hills and not look back as long as the spell is maintained.
All right. I mean, I just feel like, oh, I'm shaking in my boots. Not even. But yeah, I would say, all right, it's a deal, and I untie.
All right, and Sketch just runs, or like moves as quickly as he can away from the party, not towards the village, just away. And now it's just the three of you.
I'm gonna give a wave as he leaves.
He runs faster. All right. So, it is now like 5 minutes to 11. I know I said before that we'd play about 3 hours, so this would be we would be coming up on 3 hours. If you guys want, we can end the session here. Or if you'd like to go for, say, 1 more hour, we can deal with the shaman. It's up to you.
I'm okay with dealing with the shaman.
Rumi, I know you had a drive. You had to go
Yeah,
somewhere. Yeah. So,
but I don't wanna stop the story just for that. So if everyone else is in agreement, I'm fine.
Arrow,
like we could.
would you be okay with another maybe another hour? It might not be a full hour.
Yeah, I could see it being done in 30 minutes if it's just the shaman.
Jack? Oh no. Have we
Oh, no.
lost?
Did we lose Jacques?
It's canon now. He's actually French origins.
Oh no.
And we might be getting messages.
Mic cut out.
Okay. Well, that might force us to stop here then.
Yes. Yes. Can you try and fix your mic? Is that something?
Working on it? All right.
Yeah. Okay. You might need to, like, this is just a sometimes my mic will stop working on Discord, and I just have to like leave the call and come and rejoin it. So you might need to try that if you haven't. Okay. Well, how about this? How about we take another brief break. We take like 5 minutes, and then hopefully after that. Oh, I'm hearing something.
My mic's back.
Yay!
Yay! Okay. Scratch that. Let's press onward. Okay. So, so you are good to keep going? Yes.
Yeah.
Arrow? Yeah, okay. So, let us proceed. You stand outside the cave of the goblin shaman. There are totems invoking, evil powers to defend this unholy place. But there are no guards posted. What do you do?
Well, we obviously are dealing with magic attacks here. I don't know how, and I know fire was mentioned. Sketch definitely gave away a weakness here. Maybe we have something, watery to aid us in making sure we don't get caught on fire. Like, kind of like want to do a little bit of a quick tactics thing to be like, we're just gonna go in here and take this shaman down. Like, do we want to rush him, or we each have our own unique skills? Like, maybe we can go in at different intervals and different angles at this.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Well, Jack, you seem very interested in the treasure and whatnot.
Yeah, of course.
And you seem like the kind of folk that would be good with the sneaking.
I could just go in there and check it out and see what's up.
Yeah, like, and then let us know what we're working with in regards to if there are others besides the shaman. Like, we don't want to assume it's just the shaman.
I wanna
Okay.
go in there and sneak around.
All right.
I'd want to stay with Bjorn and just be ready to go when the moment comes when Jack's back with information.
Man, I sure
Alright.
hope the clap of my ass doesn't alert the guards.
Oh no, Jacques.
All right. So, Jack. Jack sneaks up to the cave entrance. He peers inside, and on the other side, he sees a small band of goblins. Those goblins you were pursuing earlier in the day. And they have in their hands all of the things that they stole. Jack, what did
Oh.
they steal?
Treasure.
Treasure. Their hands are filled with gems and... Oh. VC face got out there for a moment. And I disappeared. I'm back. Their hands are filled with gold and trinkets, treasures from a church of Maris, but also treasures from a church of Maris, but also pilfered valuables of nobles and all manner of things from the city.
Ooh, shiny.
And they hold up this treasure, barely able to contain it in their hands as coins slip through their fingers, their grubby little goblin fingers, and they hold them up before a small, thin goblin, even by goblin standards, small and thin, who wears on his head a bloody red cap. And in his hands, he holds a magic staff, much sized for an elf or a human, much too big for a goblin such as he. And he giggles with joy as he looks at the treasure, and he points the staff to a treasure chest in the nearby, and the goblins go over and they open the treasure chest, which is and they throw the assorted loot into it, and the treasure chest is overflowing with gold, and they can barely get it closed again. And this is what Jack sees.
Huh. Is there any other, like... Is there just one pathway leading into this room, or is there, like, any, like, hidden nooks or anything?
There are stalactites and stalagmites about that you could hide behind and try and sneak around unseen.
Yeah, I want to, like,
But there are not like pathways.
I want to try and sneak, like, behind the leader.
Okay. Yeah. We'll say that is defying danger with dexterity. The danger being, being spotted.
Okay.
Wow. All right. So, well, the goblins are very distracted by their rewards, and the shaman is praising each of the goblins by name, and while they are very distracted by this, you get right up into position uh,
I wanna
behind
poison.
the.
Can I poison
Mhm.
my rapier and then attempt to attack and backstab the leader?
Absolutely. So you because you are using your brand of poison, it is not dangerous for you to do so. You merely coat your blade in the serpent's tears, and you have the drop on him. So this is going to activate your backstab move. When you attack a surprised or defenseless enemy with a melee weapon, you can choose to deal your damage, or roll plus dex. On a 10 plus, you choose 2. On a 7 to 9, you choose 1. So, uh, you can not roll anything and just deal damage right now. Or, you can roll dex and choose from that list of options.
I'll roll dex.
Okay.
Oh wow. Okay.
Wow, boxcars. Okay. Alright. So, you get to choose 2 from the list. The list is, you don't get into melee with them. You deal your damage plus an additional d6. You create an advantage, which is +1 forward to basically the next roll you or an ally make. Or you can reduce their armor by 1 until they repair it.
What does the you don't get into melee with them do?
So, by default, after a backstab, if the enemy is not killed, you are in melee combat with them. And then, basically, that means they're going to threaten you with danger. You are now, like, engaged in a fight with them, and getting away is not automatic.
Okay.
If you choose as one of your options to not get in melee with them, then this allows you to hit and run. And hit and run.
I think
Would you like to do that?
I think I'll deal the damage plus 1d6, and then I think I want to create. Actually, no. I think I'll reduce their armor by 1 as well.
Okay.
So deal damage and
well-
reduce armor.
Okay. All right. So for damage, your serpent's tears mean that anyone dealing damage to the target rolls twice and takes the better result. So roll your total damage twice, which would be 1 1d8 plus 1d6. Roll that twice, and you will deal whichever roll is better.
Okay.
Jack's gonna become the new Goblin Chief, yo. Let's take out this
Mhm.
shaman in one hit.
So 8.
8. Unfortunately, not enough to take out the the shaman in one hit. But your second choice was to reduce his armor by 1, right?
Yep.
Okay. So Jack comes up and brings that up the rapier and stabs down at the goblin chief and strikes him in the head. Jack had hoped to run him through, but instead he merely cracks the skull mask that the chieftain was wearing, and it splits, revealing a ugly, disfigured goblin face. And the goblin chief goes, "Ah!" And the goblins all panic and begin reaching for their weapons. outside, the two of you hear unmistakable sounds of goblin surprise.
Oh, well.
Jack is in danger.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Unmistakably sounds like goblins.
Oh, it sounds like
I would
more
like-
than one goblin too. We should probably go help Jack.
Yeah, I would rush in with my staff already at the ready.
I would like
All right.
to shapeshift into a bear before running in, since I've
Oh,
observed the
yeah!
bear. I mean, if we're gonna
Yes.
go all smashy, I'll get a bear.
All right. So yeah. Go ahead and roll plus wisdom.
On it. 9.
9. Okay, so that is 2. So let's see. We have to give you a couple of bear moves.
Yeah. I take it to be the hardy
Uh,
beasts section with trampling and breaking through, but like big claws and teeth too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Trampling and breaking through sounds appropriate because I definitely see like a druid shapeshifting into a bear should be like shoving things around, but
Yeah, yeah.
also claws and teeth. All right. So you have 2 holds for bear stuff. All right. So Jack, inside the goblin shaman, he, squeals and moves away and begins grabbing his own minions and using them as shields in front, getting them between him and you. Jack, what do you do?
I try to fight him. Fuck it.
All right. So are you trying to fight the goblin in front of you, or are you trying to get to like rush past him and get at the goblin shaman?
I'll just fight the one in front of me.
Okay. In that case, that would be a hack and slash. Roll plus dex because you have a rapier.
Okay. Oh boy, 6.
All right. So Jack lifts the rapier and prepares to strike down the goblin in front of him. But another goblin comes in from the side and jumps onto Jack's back and drives and starts trying to stab down at him. Jack, take a d6 of damage, and you have a goblin on your back.
Oh god.
Wow, those are hard to remove. Don't let it spread.
Okay,
-1.
-1 for your armor. All right. Suddenly, Jack, a bear and a dwarf appear at the cave entrance, charging in. Bear and dwarf, what do you do?
I have a quick question about when I'm
Yes.
shapeshift. Can I still speak to other people, or is it only in the tongue that I'm shapeshifted in?
That is a good question. I do not believe there is a specific wording in the move, but I would say that under the term of strengths and weaknesses of the form, I would say that a weakness of the form would be you have bare vocal cords
Yeah,
and therefore
that's what I was thinking.
cannot speak. You can understand, but you cannot speak.
Got it. That's what I was leaning on too, but just want to make sure. Well, in
Yeah.
that case, I would take Bjorn's lead because I can't
right.
communicate anything, and I would definitely try to clear any clear the path for Bjorn to not be rushed by like a horde of goblins. Like depending on how many goblins are around, like just break up any groupings so they're scattered.
Would you say perhaps that you are defending Bjorn?
Yeah. Good call.
All right. In that case, when you stand in defense of a person, item, or location that is under attack, roll plus Constitution.
All right. That's a 0. 4. Dang.
All right. So, all right. So,
Well,
Teros,
I have a question.
you,
When I rolled
you,
a 6, and then when Terrace rolled a 4, is that when we gain the XP points?
oh, yes, I'm sorry. Every time you get a failure, you gain an XP. So,
Ooh, okay, let's do Jack's
yeah.
first.
So, just mark on there should be a place in the top right of your character sheet that just says
Yeah.
XP. So just put one there.
Got it.
Okay, so Teros, you charge forward, attempting to defend Bjorn, but the goblins react as if this is not the first time that they've had a bear try to come into this into this area, and they grab weapons and start jabbing and cutting and trying to ward off your attack, and you're gonna take roll 2d6 and keep the highest for the damage you take.
4 would be the highest.
4.
Okay, mark that off.
So, yes. And so the you cannot get any farther into the cave unless you spend one of your hold for the bear move to shove.
I think I'll wait and see what Bjorn does and keep the goblins distracted with them jabbing at me for Bjorn to take the lead and such.
Okay. So, Bjorn, the situation is somewhat grim. Jack has a goblin on his back stabbing into him. And Teros is being held back and stabbed with spears and swords. What do you do?
Gosh, am I close enough to either of them that I could reach immediately? Or would I have to
Teros, yes. Jack is on kind of on the other side of the combat. So it would be a little tricky to get to Jack. You could try, but it'd be a little tricky. But Teros was trying to defend you, and so they are right next to you.
I would probably stand and defend with Teros to help, because I don't want my bear friend getting all cut up.
Okay. All right. Then roll plus con to defend Teros.
What is with these rolls
Oh,
right now?
no.
I got a 4.
All right. So you gain an experience point, and as you learn a lesson, as the goblins come, and they jab and poke at you, but one of the goblins leaps up and grabs hold of your staff, and while another one comes behind you and kicks you in the shin, and then the first goblin leaps away and is now holding your staff in the air. I got your staff. And you are disarmed. What do you do about that, Bjorn?
Am I within range to touch? Not Jack, Taros.
Oh, whoa.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can touch Taros.
I'm going to clutch onto my holy symbol and cast Cure Light Wound. If I
Okay.
can. So
You can. Are you still maintaining the fear effect on Sketch?
I believe I would have dropped it by now.
Okay. Okay. Then just roll plus wisdom. Okay.
Oh,
I
So-
got a 6 and another.
All the good rolls got
So,
taken at the beginning.
You yes.
Let's
So
try for an
you
hour.
gain an experience point
Mhm.
as Bjorn. You holding your holy symbol in one hand, grabbing Bear Tail with the other hand. Um, you begin trying to speak a prayer, but the goblin shaman, he looks at you with angry eyes, and he begins uttering such terrible blasphemies that I dare not repeat them, and and such vulgarities um, uh, uh, begin messing up your concentration. Your spell, it doesn't work, and instead you begin to feel yourself being assaulted by this black magic. Meanwhile, Jack, there's a goblin on your back and he's stabbing you, and your friends are in danger. What do you do?
I fight back against the goblin.
How do you do so with him on your back? Are you gonna try and like stab him, or are you gonna try and throw him off?
I try to like stab him with the rapier.
All right, it'll be difficult, but you can try. Make a roll plus your dexterity for hack and slash.
11.
All right, an 11. Would you like to just deal your damage, or would you like to do extra damage and yeah, and take some back?
I'll try to do the extra damage.
All right, so roll a D8 plus a D6, and is your sword still poisoned?
I mean,
You have to apply it. Let's see. Touch poisons can even be used on the blade of a weapon. I don't know what the intent is. I'm gonna assume that it's one use per poison. So yeah, just roll a D8 plus D6.
okay. 7.
All right, easy clap. You the goblin's on your back and he's like ha ha ha, and he's raising up his dagger to stab you one more time, and you just kind of rapier through his face, and he goes ah and falls down, and he is gone. And you turn and you see Bjorn is suffering under some sort of curse that the goblin shaman is speaking at him. And there's another goblin coming towards you on the ground, weapon outreached, and then 2 more goblins are stabbing at Teros. What do you do, Jack?
I try to like juke around the one goblin who's coming at me and try and get at the shaman casting like the dark magic.
All right. in order to get around him, you're gonna have to defy danger. It sounds, you said juke around him, so that sounds like dexterity.
Okay.
So make a dex roll.
13.
13. Well, all right. Yeah, you juke right around him, and you get up there, and the shaman sees you coming, and he pulls this his magic staff around to try and defend himself. And he begins channeling like dark magic into this staff. Roll dex to hack and slash him.
Okay. Nine.
All right. Go ahead and roll your damage. I'd like to know if this is going to kill him or not. Oh, roll your damage twice because he is still under the effects of the serpent tear poison. So you roll it twice and take the higher one. So your damage is D8. All right, 7. All right. So you, Jack, you come in and you stab the goblin through the guts. And he goes, ah! He drops his staff. His staff clatters to the ground. There's a spark of black magic from it, from the head of the staff, but then it returns to being just a piece of wood. The goblin, though, looks up at you with its dying gasp, and it spits in your face. But the spit is enchanted with an acidic effect, and as the acid splashes the ball of acid spit splashes your face, take a D10 damage.
Okay. Does my armor negate one?
It does. It does.
Okay.
But the goblin then falls back dead. The shaman slain. Teros, two goblins are assaulting you, slashing at you with a sword and a spear. What do you do?
Well, I definitely want to get them out of my vicinity, and can I also see what Bjorn is doing? If Bjorn is currently surrounded by different goblins or the same ones?
Bjorn is Bjorn is disarmed, and there's one goblin with his staff and another goblin like with a weapon.
All right, I definitely want to break through the goblins that I am currently engaged with to trample as many as I can. Like, just going for because I want to like make the situation better for us, and if I can knock them all down, at least, even if I don't do damage, if they're knocked down, that should give us time to like get Bjorn armed again and me situated and ready to aid.
Yeah. Okay. So you trample through all of them, and you knock several of the goblins over. Go ahead and spend a hold for that.
Right.
If you want to try and get the you want to try and disarm the one who stole the staff?
Yeah, so that way Bjorn can get it back.
Okay. Let's say that would be defy danger with strength to like power through him.
Okay. That's a negative one for me. Hey, but I rolled pretty good, so 11.
There you go. And so in fact with an 11, I'm just going to say, yeah, you knock over several of the goblins and then get a hold of the staff and just kind of fling it with your bare mouth and Bjorn, you catch the staff in out of the air. Bjorn, you're armed again. What do you do?
Sorry if it's a little
I'm
bit drooly.
I am going to attack the. Well, wait. The one who had it is on the ground now, correct?
Yes.
Or I'm going to hit him. I'm going to hit him, and I'm going to hit him.
All right. He. All right. He is down and like distracted by a bear. So no need to hack and slash. He is not a threat to you right now. Just roll your damage.
Okay.
Nice.
And that is a 6.
All right. That goblin is now an ex-goblin.
Yeah.
All right. The goblins are now starting to react as if they realize that they are outmatched. Their shaman is dead, and they're starting to lose members themselves. You think you might be able to cause them to retreat with just one more little shove. But Jack, you're standing over the body of the dead shaman. What do you do?
And the other goblins are still fighting.
Yes, but they look like they're wavering.
I continue-
Okay. So are you going to go for one of the goblins that are standing, or are you going to try and finish off one of the goblins that Teros knocked over?
still standing.
All right. So, as you approach the goblin, he raises up his spear, and he's ready to defend himself. Although he seems a bit shaken. So, roll plus dex to hack and slash.
Okay. 10.
All right. You may deal your damage, or you may deal extra damage and get dealt damage in return.
I'll do the extra damage.
Okay. Roll a d8 plus a d6 for your damage.
Okay. 9 damage.
Okay. Arm broke. There we go. Yeah, 9 damage. So Jack just strides, just like JoJo walks right up to this this goblin, and this goblin's like juts out the spear, and you just kind of bat it aside, but it grazes you, and you take you take some damage. Roll a d6 for the damage you take, but regardless, then your rapier finds the goblin's brain, and it is slain.
Alright.
Teros,
Yeah.
you survey the battlefield, and you see that these goblins are one good push from retreat. As
Mhm.
a merciful one, perhaps you would like to give that push.
I was thinking about maybe doing like a really impressive roar to like scare them out, like possibly like call with bear speech to the other bear that I know is around and be like, they'll take it as a mighty roar of I'm ready to mess you all up, and then but also double as a, hey bear, I'm a bear, come on in here and maybe fight these goblins and like, but I'm trying to think of the shortest way to say that. so, so it's not like a garbled roar of rah 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 rah. It's just like I definitely want to do more just the roar of intimidation first.
All right. Yeah. I think that's going to be defying danger with charisma. I think.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's a 0. It's better than a negative. And but only a 6.
Oof. Okay. Well, take an experience point.
All right.
And the goblins are sure intimidated, but perhaps not in necessarily the way you would want. The goblin, one of the goblins runs outside, and you see him shout back. You see him shout, "Hey, everybody, get out of here! We need help!"
Oh no. What have I done?
And you realize soon there will be too many goblins. You all realize this.
Probably grab as much.
The goblins who are here are now disengaging, but soon there will be too many goblins. What do you do?
I can't talk to tell them unless I shift back to human. I probably would shift back. I mean, not human, elf. Immediately on that realization.
All right.
To let everyone know.
You are an
yeah, we
elf.
should be out of here.
What does everyone else think?
Yeah.
Probably pocket some treasure and get out of here.
I would try and get whatever they stole from the church and get out.
All right.
My priority.
So,
I was hoping to like maybe grab as much as I could that's helpful to y'all. If like Bjorn is going specifically for the church things and Jack's going for just treasure in general, maybe I could grab that cap and staff that the shaman had to see what like powers they might have later that aided in its ability to take control of, to be Sheaf and have those powers if it aided in that way.
right. As soon as you touch the staff, the shaman's staff, it is without a doubt a powerful magical object. There seems to be some sort of dark power in it, but it's definitely strong and magical. The hat seems to have an aura of menace around it as well, but you can't quite tell if it's of the same caliber. But you have those two items.
All right, I'll take them.
Bjorn and Jack, you throw open the treasure chest. Bjorn, you grab the holy symbols of the church, and Jack, you just you just grab handfuls of the most valuable looking treasures. But if you want to escape quickly, you will have to leave the majority of the chest behind. Is that the plan?
I think that would have to be the plan for now. I don't think we'll
Yeah.
get out of here
Mhm.
alive.
Yeah.
Could always come back later.
Yeah. You know where it's at.
Yes. All right. So with that, you flee into the woods. Moments after you disappear, too many goblins swarm over the area, but you have made your escape into the woods, and we cut to later. Outside, at the roadside, you've reached the edge of the goblins' territory, and you see civilization in front of you once again. You stop and catch your breath, and you look at the treasures that you've recovered, and Teros, you look at this wooden staff. You look at it closer now, and you see it has a face like a demon carved into it. And as our camera zooms in on that demon's face, the credits roll. And that is the end of our adventure.
Hey. It's a good adventure.
All right.
Very good.
So there is one last thing that we have to do because it is in the rules. We cannot end a session without taking the end of session move. So, when you reach the end of session, choose one of your bonds if you feel it is resolved, completely explored, no longer relevant, or otherwise. Ask the player with which you have the bond if they agree. If you do, mark XP and write a new bond with whomever you wish. Please check your bonds at this time. Do you think any of them are resolved or no longer adequately describe that relationship? I'm not sure if that is the case.
I think Bjorn had my back.
Mm-hmm. And you still believe Bjorn has your back?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't think any of those were necessarily resolved. So, okay. We
Yeah,
will,
mine definitely not.
Is resolved only if it like doesn't apply?
Yeah, so basically, a bond is considered resolved when it is. It doesn't necessarily have to like change if we feel it's like been completely explored. Like there's no more role playing opportunities to be found with a given bond. Or it's no longer relevant, such as if you changed your mind and you no longer felt Bjorn would have your back. Or if Bjorn let you down in some case. Or it just otherwise doesn't, you don't feel it really describes the relationship anymore. So, yeah, basically it needs to change, or it can be if it's just been like played out and it's like, this is, the end of the... but I would say that would require more than one session.
Yeah.
Okay. The second thing. Once bonds have been updated, look at your alignment. If you fulfilled that alignment at least once this session, mark XP. So, let's go down the list. Teros,
Yeah.
did you help something or someone grow?
I would say I definitely was helpful. I tried to help Sketch grow as a better goblin, but ultimately it was
You did
Bjorn that
try.
induced the fear, like, and that's what helped him grow. So I don't know, like help something or someone grow. Grow can be in any aspect of making them have a change that's positive for them or others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would say I probably did not fulfill that directly for anyone here.
Mm-hmm.
I
You
definitely
definitely
did it
tried
depending
with
on needs.
yeah. You definitely tried with Sketch, and if Sketch had been a bandit instead of a goblin, then maybe you would have been able to succeed there. But he's kind of an evil fairy, and evil fairies are going to be evil
He's the
fairies.
embodiment of the evil. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah. So unfortunately, I guess not.
That's okay.
Let's see.
The
Jack,
attempt was made.
did you leap into danger without a plan?
I think so.
Oh yes.
I deciding to backstab the shaman was definitely a case of leaping into danger without a plan. So please take your experience point.
Now I have 2 experience points. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Bjorn, did you endanger yourself following the precepts of your church or god?
There's only one instance I can think of, but yes. And I didn't do this
All right,
intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
When I let go of the rope on on Sketch.
Yeah.
Even
yes,
though it
I
was
was
my
thinking that
unfailing.
at the time. Yeah, because
I swear to you, I was
by
not. I was not metagaming for XP. I was just in the moment.
though that's perfect. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Because letting go of that rope put you in greater danger. Um,
Mhm.
but that was you were upholding your oath to Sketch. So yeah, that's definitely within your alignment. So take an experience point. Very good.
All right.
All right. So then, as a group, we're gonna answer 3 questions, and each one that we agree yes to, you will gain. Everyone will gain an experience point. So the first question is, did we learn something new and important about the world? In this case, this is the first session, so we can't not do that. We learned about a whole lot of important stuff. We learned about Bjorn and Jack and goblins and that Teros existed and
Yes.
all of the stuff we learned. So yes, everyone gets 1 XP for the first question.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay.
Question 2. And this one you guys have to answer. Did we overcome a notable monster or enemy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Most definitely.
So there was
Mhm.
the red cap goblin chief. There was like the bear. There was Sketch.
Sketch was certainly a
Mighty.
notable something. Yes, Sketch the Mighty. Um, um, yes, so yes, everyone gets an XP for that question. And the last question, uh, ooh, did we loot a memorable treasure?
I would say yes,
Mhm.
Yeah,
because
the staff.
we all got a little bit of something that was relevant to our own goals. The religious stuff for Bjorn, the valuable general treasure for Jack and me to be like, what's these items that is causing these evil fae, these evil goblins to have power? Like, I feel like the staff's
Mhm.
going to be important. Like, taking that away from them so they can't use it anymore feels very
Right.
notable to me.
All right, then everyone gets an XP for that.
Awesome.
All right. Very good. Um, also, did anyone? So does anyone have a total XP of 8? I feel probably not, but I want to check.
I got 5.
I have 5.
I have 7.
Nice, you're so close.
Oh,
Yeah.
so close. So if we play again one day, you'll all probably hit level 2.
Nice.
Okay.
um,
I would be open to
yeah.
this. I really enjoyed this. This
Yeah, it
is
was fun.
very
I'd like to
much
make a plan
Mhm.
for it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's very much back to the origins of how I remember like when I first learned how to play D&D in high school was just like you make up some stuff and when a thing happens, you roll for it to see if it works or not. But there were no maps or anything. You were just like I'm doing this stuff and there was more narrative focus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of the principles of running this game is to draw maps and leave blanks on those maps. I did not draw maps today because mostly because of the interface.
Yeah.
But uh, but yeah. So and it's really play to find out what happens. When I run this game, I mean, in this case, I didn't know. I knew absolutely nothing about what the adventure was going to be when I sat down. Because you guys decided that. You guys decided that we were chasing goblins, and then just everything went from there. The only thing I knew was that I was probably going to start with the "Are you chasing something or are you fleeing from something?" question.
Mm.
Which is a trick I've used. Which is a not a trick, but a setup I've used before. Last time I used it, they were fleeing from a city of ghosts that they woke up when they stole like an idol. and they were running and they were trying to get back to their boat to escape the through the swamp.
Oh wow.
That was a hell of a session.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then another, and then like, I almost, I considered this other setup that I've used for Dungeon World one shots before, which is, you all met in a tavern. That tavern is on fire. Player, whose fault is it? Um,
Oh, so you're just cutting out all of the banter that would have happened otherwise.
yes. And then when I did that one, they actually had the fire be the fault of the paladins, like the minions of the paladins' sworn enemy. And so I just kind of like, so then they got to be the heroes and like rescue all the people from the burning tavern. But my plan had been, if they had blamed another player character, I was then going to turn to the player character and say, why is it not your fault? And then that was what I was gonna roll with that. So that I almost went with that one instead, but I like the starting with a chase.
Yeah, we're jumping right into the
setup.
action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And this was a very combat-y, action-focused campaign, but I don't know. That's just what's easiest for me to improvise.
Yeah,
But
I really liked your improvisation. Like,
Yeah.
and the system is really good for that. I'm learning. Like, it really
mhm,
helps it be a collaborative storytelling effort. That we all
mhm.
get input into how it's shaped, and that makes it extra fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say bye to chat.
All right.
Goodbye everybody who's in chat. Oh, by the way, if you're in chat, if you would like to play in an RPG with me, not Dungeon World, but Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, I am running I'm starting the first session of a new campaign tomorrow. The campaign is titled The Curse of the Three Eyes. And it is a paid campaign. So I'm asking for, I'm selling tickets to sit in this new campaign.
Mhm.
But if that would interest you, you feel, please check out this link that I just put in the Twitch chat. That campaign, which I said is in 5th edition, is going to feature sort of Viking adventures and goblins, much meaner goblins than Sketch, and an expedition into the Feywild in search of, well, you'll have to play to find out.
Nice.
All right. So with that, thank you all for listening. Thank
Thank
you
you for having us.
everyone who played. Let's see if there's anyone to raid.
Yeah, let's check it out. And thank you for a wonderful session to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
was fun.
Thanks for
All right.
doing all this. It was really fun.
All right. So I see one of my online friends, Creator, is streaming Final Fantasy IX right now. So I'm gonna send you guys over to Creator. Go and tell him KB sent you.
I will.
Creator, start raid.
Get those emotes ready.
Raid now.